I mean, what if I'm like in an asylum and I'm just a mental patient, and this is all crazy fever dreams that I'm having because of the medication or something? That would make more sense than what these people actually believe, right? Please tell me this isn't real. You stupid! Striker over 9,000 would be appropriate.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Barry Allen did to Eobard Thwain. Jesus Christ, did you see that Flash trailer? Wow, I mean, I've been a big advocate for making James Gunn stop, but that was incredible. If that's what James Gunn is doing, maybe I'm wrong and he knows what he's doing. You know, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. It's you know, something I have to do. But yeah, anyway. Did you see yesterday when I released a episode of Debate Shorts edited by the incredible Glober Mum, who, by the way, congratulations Glober Mum on 6,000 subscribers. I thought it was a good episode because I looked so young in it. So young and naive, and I hadn't yet been worn down by 700 debates with flat earthers. Excuse me. Yeah, so if you haven't seen the debate short from yesterday, please go and check it out because it's a very good one. I debate Lemon Bird. It was the first time I'd come across that amount of word salad. I was so young I hadn't yet grown a pointy head. It was incredible. So today we're going to do what my doctor said I probably shouldn't do, and that's go across to the Discord server and talk to a bunch of flat earthers over there. Let's just see who my... Someone's just said, Brett, be careful for the debate today. These people are headed deranged. Thank you, whoever just sent me that on Discord. But let's go over there and have some fun. I hope everyone is good today. Oh, super chat already. Icy Spin for 199 says this is definitely against doctor's orders. Yeah, but it's fun. Right, let's get the screen up and go and click the button of doom.
My webcam came in today. It's all set up, looking right at me. It's closed, obviously.
Can't be any worse than what your default thing was that we've looked at.
I know. I looked at it. I don't know if it looks better or not to other people, but it's right here on top of my laptop. It's all ready to go once we get below 25 people.
Hello,
welcome, FTFE.
Thank you very much. Yeah, webcams suck. It means people have to see your face. I tried to stop it, but...
You love it, though. What do you mean? You look up some perverted exhibitionist or something, right?
People seeing my face has genuinely been a good thing because I had a spot on my forehead and it's been 4 months and it's not gone away. And a doctor that watches me regularly emailed me and said, "Look, Craig, that's not just a spot. It looks like it could be, possibly very dodgy." And I went and got it checked, and he was bloody right. So I'm having treatment for it at the moment. So maybe being on camera all the time isn't a bad thing.
Hey, Craig, fill us in on your health situation.
Which part of it?
I heard you had some heart issues in the last 3-4 weeks. Am I wrong, right, incorrect?
Yeah, a change in medication and diet caused some stress on my heart, and I had a minor cardiac event, yeah.
That's no fun. I hope you get better. No matter if we disagree with you, the heart is very important, and it kind of goes past whether we actually can talk well together. I wish you the best.
Appreciate that, thank you. Yeah, this server has actually been very good to me about all that. I was almost brought to tears by the fact that I got sent a massive card with a bunch of signatures from people here. Don't ever do that again to me, all right?
We'll try to take it easy. The last time you were here was great, man. You brought us Olaf, and then you dipped out after like 8 minutes. You're like, "Here's my friend, peace, bye."
Yeah,
and then we hung out with them for like 3 hours. It was actually pretty cool.
I forgot to feed my hamsters, so they couldn't power my internet for the day. Apparently, I don't know. But today I've made sure the hamsters are well fed. Extra help from some gerbils. We should be good. No internet problems today.
How do you feel about the Chinese, the CCP, putting down hamsters? They might have COVID. What do you think about that?
No idea, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. For hamsters.
I mean,
what is that,
there's a large history of euthanizing animal populations to stop the spread of disease. So if there was something they thought was necessary, then I'm sure they did it. I'm not sure, but
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're doing well.
Thank you. Oh, wow. So...
So no backup this week? No Olaf, no Mr. Sensible, no McToon?
No, I'm here on my own. But, if there is any globe earther here who feels like, having a point in, then I'm more than happy for someone to have a say as well.
Oh, man, usually we forbid them from speaking for this time. But if you want, we can revoke that.
Yeah, no, they're welcome to chime in if they feel like they have something to say. Because, I'm not an expert in everything, and there's people that know subjects better than me, and sometimes it's nice to have someone that can explain things in a way that I possibly might not have the ability to. So yeah, if there's any globe earthers in here that feel like they have any questions or points they want to bring up to the conversation we're having, then I don't mind, as long as you don't mind.
Well, I usually mind, but because you don't mind, I guess we won't mind.
Cool. So, how about that flat Earth map, huh? How's that coming along?
What, we don't like the AU map? With the warped southern continents and the longitude and latitude lines deriving from the Royal Society? With the Earth's radius and circumference built in?
No, I like maps that would accurately get you where you're going, not, tell you that Australia is several thousand miles wider than it actually is.
Well, I mean, it does have a scale on it, the Gleason's map, right?
Yeah, it does. Well, no, it doesn't have a scale. It can't have a scale because there is no...
It definitely has a scale.
I mean, it has a scale if you are going north to south. The distances north to south are correct, but there's no accurate scale for east to west on it.
Well, no, there's a ruler, and it comes with the map, and if you get it, you pops it out, and you lay it over the center, and you can literally measure distances outward from the center. You can't actually apply the ruler to a southern point to another southern point, but that's not what it's built for.
Yeah, but if you were to use that purely as navigation, if you were to take that as gospel, as that's what the Earth was, then you would not get where you were going, because as Alexander Gleason said in his pattern, it is designed as a distortion from the globe.
Craig, does a map or a model prove your spinning spaceball in and of itself?
An accurate map would 100% prove the shape of the Earth, yes.
How do you know how accurate it is, Craig?
By testing it. I've tested the only accurate map that I know. I've been to nearly every continent on the planet. I've traveled the world extensively, both on the surface and under the surface of the sea. And the only accurate map I ever found was a globe-shaped one.
A globe-shaped one that you can empirically and physically prove through observation. Is that correct, Craig?
Well, it empirically matches the distances that you physically travel in the real world. I would count that as empirical evidence that the Earth is a globe, because if you take the distances that a globe says that is between 2 points and you travel that distance, you find it's accurate. And it's the only map in the world that does that.
Would you disagree, Craig, that some people say 99%, 100% believe that when you're on the terrestrial, on the Earth, that it works the same on the globe and on the stationary plane? It only becomes different when you go into the sky and go into space?
What works the same? Sorry.
The stationary plane and your round spinning space ball, basically work the same, and it only changes when you go into outer space. Would you disagree with that?
Yeah, very much so. There's many physical phenomena that we have on Earth that would only be explainable by something that is massive and rotating.
So when you do 9.18 meters, 9.81 meters per second squared, and in that gravity equation, you have to take into account radius of the Earth and the mass of the Earth. So in your opinion, both of those have been measured?
Yeah, radius of the Earth and the mass of the Earth have both been measured, yeah.
Who measured the mass of the Earth?
I couldn't tell you exactly the names by now. I mean, Cavendish technically did, almost very accurately, but it's been done many times by many different methods. I don't have the scientific papers about the measurements of the mass of the Earth to hand, but it's something that's been done many times, along with the measurements of the radius of the Earth.
So in your opinion, Cavendish proved gravity, even though Cavendish went out to prove density, that his little two balls attracting toward each other absolutely proved gravity, and it couldn't be something different? Is that your opinion?
Cavendish experiment empirically demonstrates that there is an attractive force between masses.
No, because that as a globe believer, you have to go with it. It can't be something else, right? With gravity, you have to have the radius of the Earth, 3959. You have to know the mass of the Earth, and you have 9.81
the Cavendish experiment.
Is there anything else, Craig, that possibly could get you to 9.81 meters per second squared and leave off gravity, mass of the Earth, and radius of the Earth? Just leave it off the equation and look at something else. Do you realize that you and I can do height, time, velocity, and downward acceleration, and without even breaking a sweat, can get to 10 meters per second squared before we even get to more precise instruments and come down to your 9.81 meters per second squared, which is the agreed upon average of how things go boom, boom to the ground. Do you dispute that, or are you so tied up into your gravity you can't do anything else?
Okay, so I think your question there was, could it be anything else?
Could it be anything else? Thank you. Thank you,
There's
Craig.
nothing that I'm aware of that it could be.
Okay.
That's why when we do experiments like the Cavendish experiment, we remove variables to see if it is anything else, like electromagnetic attraction or anything like that. You remove those variables in the Cavendish experiment.
But you can't tell me exclusively that somebody, even though we've drilled down less than 8 miles, took over 20 years in Russia, that we know for a fact is 39.59 miles to the center of your ball, and it's also whatever your mass is, that you can't tell me. That's a for sure thing. Then it all comes out to 9.81 meters per second squared, agreed upon average of how things go boom, boom to the ground. But you say the causal effect is gravity. Is that what you're saying? It's gravity. It can't be anything else. Is that correct? Is that right, Craig?
I'm saying the attractive force between masses, which is empirically demonstrated, we call gravity. You can call it whatever you want, but I call that phenomenon, and so does the rest of the scientific community, gravity.
Does it bother you at all that in 1692 that Newton said? 1692 that Newton wanted nothing to do. It was an obscure idea that anybody would agree that innate gravity was a real thing. Do you dispute
Well, that's
that?
kind of a misquote of Newton, really. What Newton said
It's a
was...
misquote.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a misquote of Newton because
Yeah.
you want to believe in your ball. Okay.
No,
you
it's a
want to believe
misquote
in
of
your
Newton
ball.
because you misquoted Newton. What Newton was
Okay.
saying was the fact that his equation for gravity, the Fg equals gm1m2 over r squared, which was an observation that he made and came up with based on his observation, gives the implication that gravity is instantaneous. So if you were to take that equation as being the most accurate representation of gravity, it would say that the Earth's mass instantly reached out towards the moon. And that is what Newton had a problem with. Newton said, no, I don't want that ascribed to me because that seems ridiculous that there's an instantaneous travel of gravity, and he didn't want any theory of gravity ascribed to him because Newton, of course, never had a theory of gravity. He just came up with the law of universal gravitation and attraction, which is an observation that he made. That was because based on his measurements, that was as accurate as he could get, and the equation that he had, that was the most accurate explanation. Of course, later on, we found out that it isn't instantaneous. The gravity reach travels at the speed of light, which is what we can find out using Einsteinian mathematics.
So math proves your ball?
Maths explains things. Maths is where proof lives.
I'm sorry. That does map. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Craig. Does math, M-A-T-H, prove your ball?
Maths proves the Earth is a globe. Yes.
Okay. So it's not possible. It's not possible that Michelson Morley came out in 1887 and basically did an experiment, which even Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about today, and you had to come and your side had to excuse me. Your side had to come up with the Lorentz transformation to explain basically anything away, and even Einstein said, Einstein said in 1922 that his whole special relativity what came about because of Michelson Morley, he had to explain it away, and then all you did with the eclipse was move the star a little bit away from the sun, and you came up with general relativity and the bending and warping of space-time. You threw Newton to the curb. You came up with spinning the bending and warping of space-time. You put 95% of the universe out there and call it. You put 95% of the universe out there and call it dark matter and dark energy, and it's out there. You know it's out there, and you have general relativity because of that. You can't explain the 95%, but you know it's there because if you had to put it into your equation, general relativity wouldn't work. You see, Craig, how some of the people on our side really doubt the stuff that you spew, and McToon spews. Do you see where we might just be a little bit hesitant to go along with you, Craig?
That's mainly because most of the things you said there were wrong, showing that you don't understand anything about what you were saying.
It's okay, Craig. It's okay. It's all right, Craig. It's all right.
Yeah, it's fine that you got things wrong. Being ignorant, that's absolutely fine because you can go and learn. If you want to stop being ignorant, that's absolutely fine. There's no problem with being ignorant. It's not your fault.
Craig, I'm glad your heart is doing well. Hey, Craig, I'm glad your heart is doing well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just responding to the 3 minutes of waffle that you just gave.
Whatever you say, Craig.
If you would like to go and learn about these subjects, then you can stop being ignorant about them and saying things like you just said.
I'm glad your heart is doing well, Craig.
My heart's doing fine, yes.
So let's move on, Craig, and you and I can talk later. I appreciate the fact that you're healthy and that you're back at it.
You're here now. Why don't we talk now, Jim?
No, I'm not going to talk now. I'm done. It's not my time to talk now. I'm sure you had a presentation.
You're welcome to talk.
I'm sure you had a
presentation. I'm sure you had a presentation. Right now? I don't.
I'm sure. You know, Craig, I made myself a deal. I'm not going to allow you and McToon to make a dime off of me while you're on YouTube. I've already made money off of you, dude. When you and I want to talk, I've literally made money off of you. When you and I want to talk on modern day debate. When you and I want to talk on modern day debate, we will talk on modern day debate, but you will not be on YouTube. You will not monetize a dime.
I do what I want. That's the thing.
You will not monetize a dime talking to me. I guarantee you.
Guys, if you send a super chat right now, then it's you're making Jim make me money. Just so you know.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Hey, my bad. Hey, Craig, my bad. My bad.
So,
Craig.
Jim, let me ask you a quick question. Do you think you can control what I do?
No, I hope you.
Well,
all I'm going to do
don't try and tell me
all I'm
what
gonna
I
do-
can do when
I've
I'm online.
already- I've
If I
already
was
asked
to
Luna
meet you on
Toon.
modern day debates,
I've
if I
already
was,
asked Luna
Jim,
Toon.
if I
Luna
was to
Toon
meet you
said-
on modern day
Luna
debates,
Toon said he would destroy me on his YouTube, but refuses
Jim-
to debate me on
Jim,
modern day debate.
I'm
Is
talking
that
right now,
kind of
Jim.
like YouTube, Craig?
Jim?
Is that like YouTube?
Jim,
If I can't
even
make
if-
you
yeah,
money,
let-
you
let
want
me
nothing
respond.
to do with me, right, Craig?
Even
Craig,
if
I
I
can't
was
make
to
you
go,
money,
Jim,
you want nothing to do with
words,
me, right?
Jim.
If I can't make you money,
No, here it goes. Jim, even if I was to meet you on modern day debates, I would still stream it on my channel.
you're not making a dime off of me.
So what you're
I
saying is you're
guarantee.
scared to debate me then?
No, I want to go modern day debate. So but you and me, you can't
You're
make a
so
dime
easy to
off of
bait, Jim.
Yeah, so Jim, again, if I go on modern day debates, I will also stream it on my channel. So I would still
Then
be making money.
I guess you and I will not ever have
So
a
you're
3
scared
to
to
4
debate
hour
me then?
debate.
Brilliant.
I know. You and I
Yes,
am not
I
giving you a
accept
chance to
that you're
make a
scared to debate
dime
me, Jim.
off
I
of me.
appreciate that.
You are not going to make a dime off of me.
I already have.
I will go.
Let me see.
I will go 3 to
Since you've
4
been
hours
talking,
with you.
I've made
I
about
will go 3 to 4
$57.
hours with you. I will go 3 to 4 hours with you.
Oh,
But
there's
you're not
another
going to
10,
make a
that's
dime off of me.
$67.
You're not going to make a dime off of me, Craig.
$67
I'm sorry.
already. How many dimes is in $67,
$7
Jim?
bucks. $7. There you go.
Blitzkrieg for $10 says, thanks, Jim.
Hey, fine. I'm glad you have enough money to go to McDonald's and maybe get dessert. I'm glad. Good for you.
What do you get from McDonald's dessert? I like to have an Oreo McFlurry.
I actually like the milkshakes. Chocolate's fine with me.
Oh, see, I'm more of a fan of strawberry. I find the chocolate to be a bit bitter from McDonald's. I bet you're a Big Mac kind of guy, aren't you, Jim?
I'm not really a McDonald's type of guy at all. I just said that because you
I
might.
don't know. You're the one that brought
that.
McDonald's. You're thinking about McDonald's right now, aren't you, Jim? You could go for a double cheeseburger, couldn't you?
Actually, I went to Panera's and got a nice chicken salad, and I have a strawberry lemonade.
It's $96 since you've been talking.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
So, Jim, I'm here right now. Let's have a debate. It's cool.
No, Craig. I told you you're not going to make a dime off of it. If you made $96, that's my bad, my mistake.
Oh, okay. Now it's. I've just been sent a big one, so I'm now up to $143 since you've been talking.
Cool. I
Yeah.
like it. I like it.
Yeah,
I like
we can
it.
keep going. The more you talk, the more I make. This is brilliant.
It's okay. It's all right. My bad. My mistake.
So, Jim, any idea where that accurate flat Earth map is?
No,
I'm glad you're doing well,
the
Craig.
good part about this is he's earning bad karma with his money, so it's not really that big a deal.
That's right. Money pays my wages. Karma, money pays my rent. Sorry, karma doesn't. So I'm good with getting money instead of karma.
You won't be.
I don't have any bad karma though, if there is such a thing. My karma
Wow.
would be pretty damn good based on what I do in life.
Oof. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Gosh, the gall on
Spreading
you, huh?
the truth of science and physics to the world, that's a pretty damn good thing to do.
But we're
Yikes.
coming against you, and we're the righteous people. Therefore, you're the
No,
wrong
you think
person.
you're the righteous people.
No, I'm not
That's
asking
the
for
problem.
Certainly not asking. And listen to the smug laugh. You know you're insecure in your position when
I'm
you laugh
nothing.
like that.
Yes, I do this in front of my 50-odd thousand subscribers because I'm insecure. Right, brilliant.
Actually, yeah, that's a great way. That's a great way to have other people confirm what you should be confirming every time you look in the mirror. You're a good person.
Every
You
time
don't
I
need
look
those
in the
people,
mirror,
do you?
I see a fucking gorgeous person.
Well, then there you
Stunningly
go.
good
You don't
looking.
need all these people. Go on, be yourself.
Oh, no, I don't need them. They're here because they like me.
Well,
Why
they're
are you
almost
here?
as pathetic as you. That's why
You're
they're
here. You're here in my show. Does that mean that you like me as well?
I like. Yes, actually, I do. I do.
Oh, I love you too.
Well,
Right,
yeah,
anyway,
I'm here
I'll
because
ask
I love
you while you're
Listen,
here.
I'm
Have you
here-
any idea where that accurate flat Earth map is, or?
Hold on. I didn't come in to debate anything. I just wanted to tell you that I do love you, and that's why I'm trying to help you think better.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, any idea where that accurate flat Earth map
The
is?
best of intentions we have, right?
No. No. You just
Every
want to
map
come in
is
and
flat.
insult me instead of giving an accurate flat Earth map. Right. Brilliant. No worries. I understand.
What are we going to talk about tonight, other than flat Earth maps?
Every map is flat, Craig.
I disagree. I'm holding one in my hand that is definitely spherical and it's accurate as well.
Holy shit! Can we see that?
You
It's a
remind me
globe.
of this
I'm holding a
meme.
globe in my hand.
Oh no, sorry,
Right.
buddy. Those are for entertainment purposes only.
Hey, not
No,
for
not the
education
educational
purposes.
ones. There's literally a website called Educational Globes.
All they have to do is
Who
say
brings the globe when they go
educational,
anywhere?
Educational.
That's
Really? All they gotta do is
hilarious.
say so,
I
and
mean,
then,
you'll
"Oops,
find
it's
quite a lot of
educational."
them on board, like boats and submarines and stuff. And the programs that are designed for navigation are all based around a globe, and it's all globe based. Navigation
A
is
lot
all
of
globe
assumptions.
based, so that's
Not-
not
not-
an
you need
assumption.
to
I've
follow
done
them.
the navigation. I know it's globe based.
You have to use a folded map to put in your glove box for your car.
Listen,
You're not going to fit a globe map in the glove box.
Sorry, that was
Well,
three
You're not
people at
part
a
of
time there.
anybody or anything that develops what he was just talking about. He was just kind of saying what he's heard.
Sorry, I'm not saying what I've heard. I've actually done the navigation that shows that the Earth
I
is
don't
a
believe
globe.
you.
Well, I was a
Sorry.
Royal Navy sailor for many years, and before that, I did like yacht sailing and stuff.
So then you were
I've used
convinced it was
I've
globe
used a
stuff because they
sextant.
said, "Hey,
I've travelled the Earth using a sextant and applied the spherical mathematics that make it work. For military vessels that cost billions of dollars to develop,
So you-
I was
you
in
don't
charge
think
of
that
making
they could
sure
do
they're
this?
going in the right direction and things like that. So
you
I
don't think
know
that
that
they
the Earth's
could
a globe.
teach you how to navigate and just say, oh, it's over a globe,' and you buy it hook, line, sinker?"
No, I do the maths based on a globe, and then it happens to match where we're going.
All they got to do is say these maths are based on a globe, and boop, you buy it.
No. Maths are based on a globe. It's not, oh, this is based on a globe. It is based on a globe. If I put that
That's what
maths
they tell you.
into a computer program, it shows a globe.
Oh,
So, yeah, it is what they
computer
tell us
program
because
now.
it's
Now
true.
we've got a middleman, a sloppy computer program middleman between us and the truth.
How do you
Oops.
think you and I are talking right now, dude? Computer programs
Technology
are what
that
everything is
barely
done by.
works.
The technology that barely works, right? There is over 500 people.
Yeah, man, a little water gets
outside,
on this
and there's
thing,
a bunch
boom,
of people
done.
in Discord. I think this technology is working pretty damn well.
Yeah, a little water gets in it and it's fucked.
No, not my new phone. Well, it's not new. My
Ooh,
Samsung
not your new
S21.
phone.
My Samsung X21 Ultra, and I think the 22 and 23 as well. You can't get water in these guys because if you do, you just tap the button 5 times and then hold up on the volume key, and it does a blowout for it and pushes any water out of any of the ports. Water and technology.
So, and it took us this
fine.
long. It took us 40 years of cell phones being in the public purview for this to happen. Wow.
You've been having cell
See,
phones
listen,
for 40 years.
Listen, brother. Listen, I'm not going to get off in the weeds. You need to show us how the Earth is a globe. Otherwise, we'll just keep being
Because
not nice
navigation
to you.
that is based on a globe works.
But just because you say so doesn't mean so.
No, not because I say so. Because every person in the world that does navigation based on a globe has it to work.
Brother, the only reason we're here is because other people still think it's a globe, and we're trying to help you all out.
No, you don't. I'm trying to help you guys out. You realize that?
That's what crazy people
Like, I've
think. yes.
demonstrated that the Earth is a globe. I've measured that the Earth is rotating personally. I've
then how
measured
are we still
personally
asking you
gravity.
about it?
Because
Why
you
are we
guys
still
don't
asking you
understand. Because
Do you think
people
that
are
we're choosing
ignorant, and
this?
that's a
Do you
thing.
think we're choosing for the Earth to be flat? You think that's our choice?
No, it's not. Being ignorant isn't a choice. Well, it can be a choice, but it's a choice that can be fixed. And at the moment, you're choosing to be ignorant, and that's something that can be fixed.
Okay, so your definition of ignorant is moot because you're still a glober. So how are we supposed to take
Yeah,
you seriously?
because I've demonstrated that the Earth is a globe. I've verified that to myself with measurements.
you didn't sell it on
empirical
anybody, so now
evidence.
what?
Well,
Nobody
I've
bought
sold
it.
it to many people. I've had thousands of people that tell me
Suckers.
I'm the reason that they
Yeah,
are
total
no
suckers
longer in
who
the
pay
flat
you.
Earth, etc.
Right, total suckers who pay you to come and talk on the internet. That's pretty bad.
Nothing bad. And again, people that were flat earthers are now not flat earthers because of me. People that were not doing stuff are
That's
now at
unfortunate.
university doing their master's degree in physics because of me. So I'm doing pretty damn well, actually. But I'm the only one with evidence for my claims, like measurements and, pictures from space and such.
Whoa, you look at
And
the pictures
accurate
in
math.
space. Why do you think anybody
industries
thinks
that
pictures
depend
are
on
from
gravity
space?
and everything? I'm the only one with this kind of evidence. There is no evidence ever that holds under scrutiny.
Ooh,
that
that's a good
suggests the Earth
point.
is
You
flat.
are part of a group of people who seem to have the evidence where nobody else has any evidence. You ask a layman about the globe, they don't know shit. Why do you know so much about it?
Because I've got a degree in physics and I've been doing this for 4 years.
40. Okay, so now you're going to waste your time here with us earning bad karma.
I'm not wasting my
That's what
time.
you're gonna
I'm having a great time with my life. I'm not wasting
do.
my
I'm sure
time.
right now you're having a really good time. Yeah, the later lessons in life are not
See,
going to
now,
help.
if I wasn't doing this, right, I'm physically disabled and unable to work a proper job. So if I wasn't doing this, I would just be laying about doing nothing. But no, instead I do this because it's a lot of fun.
There's a lot more honest jobs on the internet to have out there, brother.
No, but I
Sorry.
can't have a actual job because my situation means that I could wake up one day and I'm not able to work. I could be in too much pain or something else has happened, right? I can't hold, there's no one that's going to employ me to a job. I have a job where I am my own boss and decide when and how I work. And that's the only kind of job that I can have. I could live on disabilities if I wanted to, but I choose not to. I do this instead.
Okay, so this is the only job you can have is trolling us on the internet.
Well, I could have any job on YouTube, but this is the one that I find the most
That's
fun.
what I'm saying.
And I'm
That's what I'm saying.
trolling
You can
any
have
of
an
you.
honest
I'm
job.
teaching you
You
physics.
could be defending the right shit, dude.
I am defending the right shit. I am teaching
No, that's
real physics
why I'm
to people.
talking to you like this. That's why I'm
I am
passionate
teaching
because
real
you're
people
actually in the
physics.
wrong.
No,
You're
I'm
hurting
genuinely
yourself.
not. I am the
You're
one with
hurting
the
your
evidence
life
and the
because
facts
you're
and the
here.
physics behind it. So instead
You're
of
hurting
talking
your
nonsense, how
life by
about you tell me
choosing
where this
to be
accurate
here.
flat Earth map is?
You
any idea?
hurt yourself by
No, I'm
being
fine.
here. And there goes that nervous laughter again.
Again, have you any idea where the flat
laughter.
Earth map is? I'm just wondering.
Every map is flat, brother.
No, they're not. And
rest my case.
if you read a map that's on paper, they are always referenced to something that is a geoid, or they are a distortion of a globe themselves.
Well, if they want to take your word for that, that's cool. I'm not buying it.
Well, no,
but
that's a fact.
Go
People
ahead,
can look
folks.
into that
Take it
and
away.
find
I'm
it
not
out
going
for
to talk to this
themselves.
fucking loser anymore.
Oh, right, okay, bye, you're
Take
running
care.
away. I understand.
Stay healthy. Stay healthy.
I'm
Fix
fine,
your life,
thanks.
please.
My life's good, thanks. Bye. Nice talking to you. Friends,
A room
that
full
was
of-
the...
room full of people. Anyone can
was what we
step up.
call
Don't
a
be
loser,
shy.
everybody.
Nah, I was glad. He's a pillar of our community. We love him. He's going easy on you, actually.
Pillar of your community. Lovely.
Pillar, yeah.
So far, there's been no evidence of the flat Earth and just a bunch of insults. Have any of you got flat Earth evidence we can discuss, or?
Rulift, how about you throw some flat Earth evidence out there for us, huh?
Earth's flat. Fight me FTFE.
There it
Okay,
is.
Glenn, come on. Catch me outside. Catch me outside, innit?
Oh, brother, you don't want that, and I would not do that. That's unfair. That's unfair.
Hey, Ruhif, why do you think it is that no flat earther can show me an accurate map?
Because you can't have an accurate flat map.
Why is
Yes, you
that?
can.
Because any flat map necessarily has distortions.
Oh, distortions
match
based
reality.
on what?
Oh, on the
Distance between 2 points.
distortions based on longitude and latitude driven from the Royal Society, you mean?
Yeah. If I give you 2 points on the Earth, can you give me a distance between them?
If I gave you a globular set of longitude and latitude and told you you had to use that for every map, could you produce a non-distorted map?
Yeah. On a globe.
But Ruhif just asked you a question. He said, but repeat the question. 2 points on a globe.
If I give you 2 points on the Earth, can you give me the distance between them? I don't care what coordinate system you want to use. Just give me a distance. You don't have to use that long.
I could. I would use known distances on a globe, based on the coordinate systems that we use on a globe, and
So we use the globe to
pretty
prove
sure
the
that would be
globe.
accurate.
As
No,
always.
his point is that if he gave us 2 locations and said, "Tell me the distance between these locations,"
Yeah, and if you
if I
compare-
had those locations on a globe, then I could use that globe to accurately say what the distance between those things is, because the globe is an accurate map that accurately represents all distances across the world. There is no flat map that could accurately represent the distance between 2 points the way you could on a globe.
Yeah, but what you're saying is if I found the distance between these 2 points on the globe and then I compared it with the record of other times we measured the distance on a globe, we can conclude that it was a globe.
No,
That's
what
silly.
I'm saying is, if you look at the 2 points on the globe and you go, right, this is X miles, right? So you got point A and point B. Now, based on a globe, that says that these should be 209.3 miles apart. And then you go and walk 209.3 miles and you find that it's exactly what the globe predicted. Simple.
Greg, if you came out and told your adoring YouTube disciples who listen to you that you didn't believe in a globe tomorrow, would you have to go out and get a real job to support yourself?
What do you call a real job?
I mean, would you have to do something other than what you're doing now?
Probably not. I do other things on YouTube if I want. And again, if I wasn't doing what I love, then I could very easily just be supported by the government because I'm a military veteran that's disabled.
It's fine.
But thank you, Jim. Again, since you've been talking, I have received another $23, so thank you very much for that.
Hey, Craig, you got a really great sense of humor. That's what I like about you.
That's why I've got 53,000 subs, yeah.
There you go. I tell you what. You are the man, Craig. You are the man. Where do you live exactly?
Your opinion of me
I need
doesn't
to get up in the morning. Face where you live, and bow. Go outside, get in the grass, and bow down to you.
I'm not in your same reality.
I'm in yours.
I should do that.
I'm with
Everyone
you.
should bow to me. Correct.
I will.
Bow to me.
ChatGPT will
Bow
take over the
to
world.
me.
That is a fact.
What do you guys think about spherical excess being built into Google Earth measurements of distance so that people like FTFE can claim these outrageous things?
When you say built in, do you mean based on the accurate measurements of the world, so that's why they did that?
No.
You think Google Earth came before the measurements of the world? No. They based Google Earth on the measurements of the world. Like, the world has been measured accurately, and the accurate measurements show that the Earth is a globe. I mean, it's not like we've got some secret technology. Cartography's been a thing for 1,000 years plus. You know, there's been plenty of people that think the Earth is flat and have a boat that could have gone out and done cartography. This nonsense about, oh, well, you guys are the ones that have had all the resources. No, throughout the past 3,000 years, flat earthers have had just as much resources as globe
Oh my
earthers.
God. It's that comes from just a misunderstanding of how the world works.
A misunderstanding of how the world works. Those words from flat earth are fucking adorable.
Flat earthers have had as much resources as the globe earthers have had over the how long?
That's 3,000 years. We've had ships and boats and compasses and rulers and tape measures.
So NASA since 1958, in the current dollars, not inflation dollars, has since 1958 got
NASA didn't say the Earth was a globe first.
$billion with the B. And how much money have we spent in education
we knew
lying to 5-year-olds
that
they live on a ball?
We knew the Earth was a globe before NASA. We knew the Earth was a globe before NASA, Jim.
Jim.
Craig, do you have a pretty high opinion of yourself, Craig?
Let's try and stick to arguments,
relevant, Jim.
Craig, do you have a pretty high opinion of
We knew the Earth was a globe before NASA was a thing.
Do you have a pretty high opinion of yourself, Craig?
I love myself, yeah. That's why I'm on YouTube. I just sit all day watching my own videos because I just love staring at my beautiful face.
There you go. Okay. I just want to get that straight. Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so Jim, you do know that we knew the Earth was a globe before NASA, right?
You said that the flat earthers have had as much resources
over the past 3,000 years on average. Yes, they have.
And that's a blatant lie.
No, it's not. If you take an average of the past 3,000 years, you've had exactly the same fucking resources.
If you talk resources as far as money, that's a blatant lie, Craig. You just lied. You just lied.
Not in the slightest, Jim. You just not understanding something doesn't mean I told a lie.
Right now, you said flat earthers have had as much resources.
Absolutely, over the past 3,000 years, 100%.
Out lie, Craig.
Over the last 3,000 years, just much.
Do you enjoy lying, Craig? Does lying?
No, I'm not very good at lying. My wife tells me that.
Does lying make you money, Craig?
I don't lie, so I wouldn't know, Jim.
Does lying make you money, Craig?
Well, what's making me money right now, Jim, is you. So please carry on.
Does lying make you money, Craig?
No, you make me money, Jim.
Does lying make you money, Craig? Yes or no?
Please stop chanting,
you make
Jim.
me money, Jim.
Oh my goodness, Craig. You just lied through your teeth. Way
Thank
to
you,
go,
Jim, for making
Craig.
me money.
Wait, hey, Craig, I'm clapping for you, Craig.
And
right
I'm taking
now.
a bow.
Clapping.
And
You
I'm taking
lie
a bow.
really well, Craig. You do good. Good job, Craig.
Yeah.
All right,
Again,
does
Jim,
anybody
you
else
know
have
we knew
anything
the
to
Earth was a
ask?
globe before NASA, right?
You said flat earthers have had as much resources as globe earthers, and
Over the
that
last
is such a
3,000
lie.
years,
Craig,
absolutely, 100%.
Good job, Craig. Hey, I should give you. I'm going to stand up and give you a standing ovation.
Oh, please
and
do,
clap
Jim.
at the same time.
Please do, Jim.
I'm going to give you a standing ovation and clap for Craig. There you
So
go.
wait, you said that you claimed to have measured the Earth's radius. How did you do that? Did you do the same sticks and shadows method as MC2?
No, what I claim is that I verified the Earth's radius by being a
Oh,
sailor.
so you didn't measure anything.
No. I've measured the rotation of the Earth. But
With pendulums and
with
physics?
pendulums, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
that was a got him by Jeremy. Or sorry, Shane.
Yikes.
Hey man, you both ruined a server. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Whatever.
Okay,
Jesus Christ. The point is,
Echo.
Fight the Flat
Go to
Earth
studio,
is
man.
desperately making money before this thing all just kind of goes away for him.
Why do you think it'd go away?
Well, because eventually, nobody's going to believe it's a globe, my friend.
What,
And the people that do
Everyone's
are going to
gonna
be the
believe
ones
it's a globe all
ridiculed.
the fucking time.
So, do you think your audience doesn't hear your nervous laughter? Is that what you think?
They don't think it's nervous. They know what I'm laughing at. They know that
they're
every time
just
a
as
flat earther
deluded
says
as you.
something stupid,
They can't hear
I
it.
get voice
They
clips.
can't hear it.
Like
They choose not to
I
hear
don't
how
know if you can see
desperate you are.
my screen, right? But on my stream deck, I've got a button here called soundboard, right? So every time one of you
Of
says
course
something
you do.
stupid like you just said, I can program that into my soundboard and have it say things like this.
Hi, my name's Nathan Oakley, and I have been lying to people about the Earth being flat for a lot of years. I did this to hide the fact I have a small penis.
Or if maybe we're talking to Santos Bonacci and Santos wants to tell us about what he did as a kid.
When I was a young boy, I grew up on the farm. I'm a country boy. And I used to fuck the cows and the pigs. I used to fuck the pigs, and the cows would come, and I would pat them and look into their eyes.
I'm masturbating.
All right, Santos, that's enough.
Who was that again? I don't know what you're talking about.
That was Santos Bonacci. But my point is,
I don't know
every
what
time a
that
flat
is.
earther says something stupid, I can put it in my soundboard. So
Like when
That's
people
why
Would you be
say
fair and then do it
the
to
Earth
every
revolves
Glober
around
too?
the sun.
Glober's
You're not going to be
stupid,
fair and do it to every
stupid things.
Glober. It's almost like you're cherry picking because you have a personal bias
I do
against
cherry
people.
pick against flat earthers, yes. That's kind of my gig, correct.
Talk about
well
stuff
done
for a
for figuring
soundboard.
that
Thank
out.
you.
Congratulations. A channel called Fight the Flat Earth would cherry pick against flat earthers. Who the fuck knew?
Oof. Don't get so worked up now. Your audience might actually smell the desperation on your collar.
Pigs look gorgeous, and cows are beautiful. I love the look of... You know, I want to be a urinator.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up, you
All right. That's
Again, I don't know who that is. I'm not sure anybody does, so whatever.
Santos
do.
Bonacci is
did
actually
you
one of the
bring
biggest
globe
flat
evidence?
earthers in the world.
Hey guys,
Or Santos.
while we're all chatting, dude,
Chopping that shit up, make him sound dumb.
Oh, I think I've heard of
Hey, he
Santos.
said
Yeah,
those.
yeah, yeah.
We didn't chop that
Okay.
up. He made that. He said those.
So there aren't crazy Globers?
And there might be. There's more Globers in the world than there's
Might
flat
be?
earthers, and a lot
There
of them
might
play
be.
Crazy. Yeah.
Listen, the majority of the
Yeah,
world's
there
rapists are
definitely might be-
Globers.
There definitely might
The
be
majority
crazy
of the
Globers,
world's
yes,
murderers are
100%.
Globers. Whoops.
Yeah, because there's
Good
more
point.
Globers than flat earthers, so, you know.
Well, it doesn't look good though, does it? That doesn't work in your
Because
argument.
there's more of us. Oh my god, because there's more
Exactly.
of you,
There's
likely
more
to be
murderers and
psychopaths.
rapists that are Globers than flat earthers. Thanks.
Well, there's humans that are rapists and stuff. It's nothing really to do with they're a Glober or a flat earther. It's a stupid...
Are you a
Huh.
hue of a man?
But what you want to do is you want to lump us into the category of animal fuckers, but then you say, no, you're not
Santos
associated with the
said that,
Glober
not me.
rapists. Whoops.
Santos said
See, bro,
that, not me.
nobody's buying what you're doing. You need to prove to us it's a global. We're going to still be here making fun of you.
Oh,
Okay?
you're never going to be making fun of me. You don't have the ability to make fun of me because your opinion means so little.
You think you're the hue of a man. You don't even think you're a man. You consider yourself the hue of a man.
I am a human. That's what I am.
The hue of a man, I know. It's
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah, just like you. Unfortunately, we're the same species. We are both
No,
human.
I'm a man, actually.
You are a human, yes.
Yeah, I'm part of mankind. I don't know what you are.
Yeah, so you are a human. That is what you are. I don't know
No,
why
I'm
you
not
would
the
deny
hue
that
of a
fact.
man. Sorry.
You are human. That is your species.
No, I'm part of mankind.
Yeah, which is made up of humans.
A hue of a man?
Humans.
The hue of a man?
Why do flat earthers do this fucking stupid shit? You guys wonder why I call flat earthers stupid when he can't even agree that he's a human.
No, I'm not the hue of a man. I'm sorry.
You are a human. That is your species.
You want to know what the funniest thing is when people go, the Earth is revolving around the sun. That cracks
Well, that's
me
been
up.
measured.
That.
So, yeah, it's been measured and verified. So, you know.
Wait, how did we measure that Earth was rotating around the sun from the Earth now, Craig?
Relativistic parallax measurements is a really good one.
You looked up at the sky and it told you what the Earth is doing?
That's a brilliant way of doing it. Yeah,
Earth,
actually, looking up at the sky is a fantastic way of telling you what shape the surface you're on. It's done all the time with celestial navigation.
If you're philosophical, like if you like philosophical
if you're
guards,
scientific and making measurements and know how shapes and angles and stuff work.
Theoretically.
That involves having an IQ of more than 2 and it takes 3 to grunt, so...
Hey Greg, how many genders are there?
What in the Kentucky Fried Crack Rock did you just say?
How many genders exist?
Oh no. So wait, hold on. Back to detecting the motion,
No,
right?
I want to hear from him.
That's stupid.
No, it's not stupid. I want to hear from him how many genders exist.
It's irrelevant to this conversation.
I know. Do you know?
Cool. It's
Which
irrelevant to
species
this
are you talking?
Yeah.
Depends on the species.
That's good, man. To our right.
You said that we've measured that the Earth rotates around the sun from the Earth. But you know one of Wittgen's favorite Einstein quotes is, "One need not view the existence of such centrifugal force as originating from the motion of the Earth. One could just as well account for them as resulting from the average rotational effect of distant detectable masses as evidence in the vicinity of Earth." Right? So literally, you can't tell it's rotating around the sun from the Earth, and you say, "Well, actually, I know better than Einstein."
Means.
What do you think it means?
Well, the one you just read is more to do with Coriolis forces than Earth's orbit around the sun, which doesn't have anything to do with Coriolis forces.
No, that was not about Coriolis. He makes a lot of quotes about not being able to detect the motion
Coriolis there,
from the Earth.
Right?
No,
read that quote again.
Centrifugal.
Yeah, and what does centrifugal force give rise to? The Coriolis and stuff, right? So you're not going to measure Earth's orbit around the sun using centrifugal force and Coriolis that's generated from it and stuff. That's not to do with measuring Earth's orbit around the sun.
So what about Hawking?
What about Hawking?
You want to use one of his quotes? Ready?
Go on.
Put it in chat this time.
This is Toondraw Flerf #1, guys, in action.
I haven't even read it yet. That's a bold claim.
Oh no, it's always the case. Toondraw Flerf #1 is without, it happens no matter what. That's why it's the law, Turf's law, Toon's law of #1.
So as far as determining that the Earth is rotating around the sun from the Earth,
He's got
he
lost.
says, although it is not uncommon for people to say that the Copernicus proved Ptolemy wrong, that is not true. As in the case of our normal view versus that of goldfish, one can use either picture as that of a model of the universe. For our observations of the heavens can be explained by assuming either the Earth or the sun to be at rest. Right?
Yeah,
technically we can't prove he said that. Listen, technically we can't prove he said that because we never watched him say a word. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. And then you could. That's based on very simple premise. But then you could do many other things to show that we are indeed the ones that are orbiting around the sun, like using relativistic parallax measurements. That could not be the case that it's the heavens moving based on the observations that we make with it. So it's fine.
Wait, but
Can I ask a question?
Hold on, one more. Sorry, I feel like Winter right now. Back to Einstein, dude, right? We can't feel our motion through space, nor has any physical experiment ever proved that the Earth is actually in motion. If all the objects in space were moving except for one, then no one could say whether that one remaining object was at rest, hurtling through the void at 100,000 miles per second, right? Just saying. So the people that hold up your
that's
religion...
using specific notions within relativity. There are many other ways.
That one is specifically from the Earth.
There are many, from the Earth. But when Einstein's talking about, he's talking specifically out within the realms of relativity. There are many other ways that we can show that the Earth is orbiting around the Sun without having to use just very thin confines of relativity that are set out. Because in the mathematics that he's talking about, it describes how everything is relative. So is one thing moving or is the other? But we don't have to just use relativity. There are many other things that we can use as well to show that the Earth is orbiting around the Sun, like relativistic Doppler measurements.
So you think Stephen Hawking and Einstein didn't know relativistic Doppler measurements? You think that that was the one thing that was like?
I'm not saying they didn't know that, but they're talking about very specific things. They both knew that there are other ways to show that the Earth orbits around the Sun. But within the confines of just relativity and Einstein's math within relativity, which was never designed to be able to determine that, you can't determine that because that's not what that math is for.
How do you determine your car is moving?
You would look at the speedometer and it would tell you that it's moving.
Oh, you can't set one of those on the Earth?
No, absolutely not. There's no intrinsic way to measure velocity. Even your speedometer in your car, it's not really measuring velocity. Your speedometer is measuring how many times the wheels have rotated and how big the radius of the wheel is to give you an estimate of how fast the car thinks you're going. There is no intrinsic way to measure a constant linear velocity. Echo,
linear?
mode. Yeah.
Sorry, Island. Did I step on you before, man? Do you have a question?
What you can measure is acceleration.
Yeah, right after
orbital is acceleration.
Well, there's a net sum of zero acceleration throughout the whole orbit because you're accelerating in one vector whilst decelerating in the other. So, although yes, there is acceleration involved in orbital mechanics, if it's a perfect circle, then the net sum of acceleration would be zero overall. However, Earth's orbit is elliptical, right? Which means it's closer at one point and further away at another. And that means there actually is a slight acceleration of about
but you can't measure
0.3% over
it's
6
actually
months.
slowing down now, right?
Let me finish my point. It's about 0.3% over 6 months, right? And it equates to something like 0.000023 meters per second squared of acceleration acting upon us. And
yeah, maybe it's so low because it's not moving. Maybe it's so low of a number because it's not moving.
Well, no, we know it's moving. There's other ways we've determined that it's moving.
No, not really.
Well, you can say not really, but that's not really a rebuttal to science, is it? That's just you going not really, which is in fact called personal incredulity.
Well, I would just think that if you could tell your car is moving by looking at the miles per hour, you surely could set something on the Earth of similar aspect and get.
Does the Earth have wheels that are?
It has an axle, doesn't it? It's got an axle, right?
No, it doesn't have an axle.
No, it doesn't have an axis.
An axis of rotation, yes, but it doesn't have an axle. And an axis of rotation is where it rotates around its own axis, not its orbit.
What do you mean?
Earth.
You've never been to the magnetic north and seen the axle?
The magnetic north is moving and is currently in northern Canada, heading towards Alaska. It might even actually be over Alaska already. I'm not sure.
Have you seen the axle there?
I mean, if you're going to be funny, at least try.
Hilarious.
Here's funny. The Earth is revolving around the sun, but we have no way of telling from the Earth.
No, there's many ways.
That's pretty funny.
There's many ways of telling.
You can tell it's curved and spinning by how flat and stationary it is.
It's definitely not flat and stationary because we can measure the movement and the curve.
Yeah, but you can measure the things moving in the sky, and all the great minds of the age and before
to do with what's in the sky.
have always said that you can't tell which is moving, us or the sky, from the Earth. And people have gone on to say, actually, it's us. We know it's us because we see the sky.
For a group that worships mainstream history, you guys are ignoring the fact that apparently civilizations, all the way up until this very young current one, knew it was flat.
That's incorrect. Even the Egyptians knew.
I'm not asking. Once again, I'm not asking. Oh, that's incorrect.
Why did Atlas from Greek mythology hold a globe on his shoulders? Because we knew it was
Is Egypt as old as Greece?
Listen, bro. You don't get symbolism.
A better question, what was he standing on?
Who knows? He was a god.
Atlas didn't hold the earth, he held the sky.
Yeah,
which is a celestial sphere.
Yeah, depictions of holding a globe, right?
Celestial sphere.
So let me get this straight. Some artwork means Earth's a globe?
No, it means that we knew the Earth was spherical even back then.
No, it doesn't. It means somebody made a cool statue.
Have you got any evidence that people didn't think it was a globe? Because maps back then showed that it was a globe. Cartography back then showed that it was a globe. Measurements.
Hold on, you should have stopped the question because now you're making claims. You should have stopped at the end of that question because now you're making claims. Oopsies.
Look up Egyptian cosmology and tell me it's a ball. I dare you. Look up Egyptian cosmology.
The Egyptians knew the Earth was a globe.
They knew it was flat, and they thought some dude was hanging over the top of it with a bunch of stars in their body. Go ahead and look at the, go look at the Egyptian cosmology picture. Google it.
The Egyptians knew the Earth was a globe. Their navigation shows this.
Look at the Egyptian cosmology, man. Look at what it is. A
Gods
picture
and
of.
stuff is different, like we were saying. But oh crap, where's that gone? But again,
so they put a dome over
knew,
flat
they
land,
knew because their navigation techniques knew that the Earth was a globe.
Where were they navigating to? The Egyptians.
The Egyptians actually navigated quite far.
Where to?
Quite far around the world.
They went all around the world.
No, I didn't say all around the world. I said quite far around the world.
They made it to Australia?
Ancient cosmologies knew the Earth was a globe. This claim that all ancient people thought the Earth was flat, it just isn't true.
Why does Wikipedia say that under every single one of your videos then?
Why does... It's what some people thought. Not everyone thought. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. The claim of...
There's all ancient civilizations.
The claim of everyone... No, it doesn't say all ancient civilizations on Wikipedia.
What do you classify ancient civilization as?
Well, you're the one that just said all ancient civilizations, and that's just not true.
So, like, are people in the 1800s to you ancient civilization?
People in the 1800s definitely didn't think the Earth was flat.
That wasn't my question.
But you know what ancient civilizations are, like the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Greek, etc.
Okay, yeah. What about the Babylonians? What about the Sumerians?
What about them?
Do you think that they lived on a globe? Do you think they thought they lived on a globe?
Is there any evidence they thought otherwise?
Yeah, look up their cosmology.
What they thought about God is irrelevant to what they thought about the shape of the Earth.
What?
Is there any writings that say they thought the Earth was flat?
Yeah, they drew depictions of what they thought the Earth looked like.
No, they drew depictions of what they thought heaven was.
Okay, so the Norse
and
people,
here's the thing about most civilizations, they didn't travel the whole world. Like I said, they traveled a lot of them traveled quite far around the world, but none of them traveled around the whole world. None of them ever saw the entire world to be able to accurately determine. I'm still talking right now.
You're making the positive claim you have.
I'm still talking right now.
A lot of claims there.
Yeah, I'm still
the claim, right? The ancients didn't travel the whole world, but you did?
The ancients most definitely didn't travel the whole world.
Okay, so when someone traveled to Australia, was there people there?
You know they didn't travel the whole world because of you. You're saying
there's no evidence they traveled the whole world.
That's how you know the ancients didn't.
There's no evidence they traveled the whole world.
Your claim is based off another positive implication that you yourself has traveled the whole world, or your modern culture has, which is a positive claim. How do you know you've traveled everywhere that is possible to be traveled? How do you know what?
Because I've traveled around the world.
So you're saying
and you're claiming that's the whole world. You know the whole world, and you know you've traveled all of it because you've been to a certain amount of places.
Because it maps out to a globe. When you add all the data points to everywhere that I've been in the world, it maps out to a globe.
So you're saying when people finally traveled to Australia, there was no one there, and they were like, "Oh, look at this empty landmass."
No, there was people there already called Aboriginals.
Oh, okay. So how'd they get there?
Like
They must have thought the Earth was flat and knew how to get places, huh?
There was a shift in the land of Australia at some point, and there was, at some point in the past, a group that travelled there. That doesn't
From
mean
where?
people travelled the whole world. From somewhere in East Asia, I imagine.
From East Asia? What
the
people were they?
islands
The
around
Aborigines?
Australia weren't always underwater. There used to be pathways to get there.
Remember,
But
Okay, I can
people
agree with
didn't
that.
travel
Imagine
the
has to be the
entire
case.
world.
Right? You
Did
imagine
they
that to be
think it was a globe to get there? Then is what you're saying? Because when the people arrived in Australia, those people said that they came from the sky.
What, the Aboriginals?
Yeah, their claim
Okay,
is they
cool.
came from the sky.
Cool. And? So they didn't think the Earth was flat then? They just thought they came from the sky?
Well,
Yeah,
you have to
It's
look at their
irrelevant.
You have to look at their cosmology model.
They all thought it was flat. Greeks, Navajos, Babylonians, Mesas, Japanese, Persians, Vikings, Indians, Mayans, Incans, Hebrews, Chinese, Celtic, African, Sumerian, Egyptian, Roman, Islamic,
I mean, that's
Masonic,
just un-
Cubans,
that's just
Australian,
untrue.
Hindu, Norse, Mesopotamian, Aztec, Arabic, dude.
Shane,
It's
that's
been
just
flat.
untrue.
It's always
You didn't
been
think
flat.
it was flat.
Why do all their
Want proof of
cosmologies
flat
depict
Earth?
it the same way?
Go
Maybe
stand on the
like
They definitely didn't
gods,
think that. They
maybe
definitely
certain
didn't think it was a
sects,
globe.
certain cosmologies have, but
They
in
def-
general,
they
we
definitely
know that
didn't
it was a
think it was a
globe
globe,
for
though.
thousands of years. The whole world has.
Really?
Yeah,
Who?
the entire world.
Wasn't Ptolemy? Wasn't the
Didn't-
Greeks and Ptolemy like the first to come up with a model that's a spheroid? Everyone else
And that's
didn't
why I
have
said
that.
like 3,000 years, because that was like around their time.
Yeah, geocentric one.
That's a gross
Yeah, still,
exaggeration.
that
More
still
like
has a globe.
2,000. More like
Geocentric,
2,000
still
and
globe.
change.
Yeah, Tychonian model proves it perfect.
No, it really doesn't. And if you're saying that,
You
then the
can't
Earth's
have
a globe.
geocentrism.
Yeah, geocentrism
Yeah, they
is
thought it
based
was
around the
a
Earth
globe.
being a globe.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you're claiming that people didn't say the Earth was flat or had some sort of globe, but then when I look to the mainstream sources, their claim is that no, it was the Greeks that first came up with the sphere Earth. So everyone but the Greeks had a different type of world or cosmology that wasn't a sphere.
And after that, but you can see in even other cultures before that and around that time, there was evidence that they knew the Earth was a globe based on navigational techniques, based on writings that they had. And again, what ancient culture thought is completely irrelevant to what we know now in modern times, when we can actually go to space and look at the Earth. Wherever you guys.
So you don't listen to what your dad has to
Another
tell you?
positive claim.
It's not.
So you have a positive claim that you've been everywhere on Earth, and then you have
it's
another positive claim that
definitely
you can go to Narnia
humans
and look
have
at Earth
definitely been
from
to space.
Narnia.
Humans have
So you
definitely
think
been
his
to space.
grandfather
You have a claim that you can go to Narnia and look at Earth from Narnia,
No one said
and then you have
Narnia.
another claim that you've
No one
been
said Narnia.
everywhere in reality.
No one said Narnia. You're just making things up now.
It's the same thing, yeah. Space
No,
and
space
Narnia.
is not Narnia. Space is real.
Right, because space is actually just three-dimensional measurements of volume, whereas what you're saying is space is a magical, mystical land where rocks
words
float
can have different
and
meanings.
and
You
water and air.
You do know that in
air
the English
coalesces
language.
into
You do know that in the.
spheres
Stop talking.
instead
You
of
do know-
expanding to take
Stop
the
talking.
whole.
Stop
yeah.
talking. Stop
Yeah,
talking.
Narnia, a
Stop
mystical
talking.
place that doesn't exist.
Stop talking. You do know that in the English language, words can have different meanings, right?
You don't know
and
that.
space is basically Narnia.
Space is just something where there is an extremely low
fictional
pressure.
place.
It's real.
Where
We
you
know
think
it's real.
where you think rocks don't fall on the ground, they float in the air, and you think gases
no one thinks
coalesce
rocks
into
float.
spheres. You think gases
I
coalesce into
know
spheres
that Jupiter. There is
instead
a
of
massive gas. There's
instead
lots
of
of massive spheres of gas out there.
to
You
fit
can
a
actually see them with a
container.
telescope yourself.
So there's a magical mystical place that you can go to in your magical mystical
how is it
penis
magical and
rocket,
mystical
and
if I
you
can see
think
it
all
myself?
the fucking laws of reality that we observe here are different up there.
No,
Yeah,
the laws
it's
of reality
Narnia.
are exactly the same.
It's Narnia. It's Narnia.
Just because you don't understand physics, the laws of physics are exactly the same.
No,
here as
I
they are up there.
understand your mainstream garb
No, you
theories.
don't understand
Yeah, I understand
anything.
them.
You don't
I
understand
definitely
anything.
do.
Don't
Yeah, I
pretend that you
definitely
understand
do.
physics because you don't.
I do, yeah, probably better than you.
Studio mode. I doubt it. I've got a degree in physics. You don't know anything about physics.
Nice, cool, me too.
No, you
Hey,
don't.
Craig, where do thoughts and ideas come from?
Yes, I do.
Brains.
Brains? What? Your brain comes up with all your thoughts and ideas?
Yeah,
So-
they're electrical
Turns it into
and
invention?
chemical signals in your brain. That's what ideas are.
So mom and dad made that?
What?
It's a weird gotcha, man.
He read it in a book somewhere, and he believes it.
No, I've
almost
tested
like.
it.
I mean,
What's
yeah,
the-
you might as well just call it the holy Bible of science.
Nothing in the Bible's tested.
And just recite the pages
Science
out of
is
it.
actually tested.
Yeah,
What's
the
the
Holy
difference
Quran
between
of
the
science.
brain and the
Holy
mind?
Quran of science.
The mind is conceptual.
And where does it get its thoughts from? The brain?
Everything, all of our thoughts come from the brain.
So I just want to get philosophical with you for one quick second. What happens when you die on the spinning ball?
You die. It goes dark and it's over.
And that's it?
Your energy returns to the universe.
Oh, okay. So you can't destroy the energy.
No, energy is never created or destroyed.
So you're an eternal being?
No, energy is not a being. The energy that's in me now has existed in countless beings before me.
Oh, and other people had your energy?
Absolutely.
Because I've never met anyone like you, man.
I doubt you have, no.
In real life.
That's
like in real life.
That's because I'm literally just a CGI generation.
He doesn't leave his basement.
I don't have a basement.
I've never met
you live in one.
flat earther in real
No.
life is what I'm so confused about. Why are you guys only on the internet?
Because
I
they're weirdos.
definitely exist in real life.
Yeah, but I don't see you.
Yeah, we already know you live in a basement. All right, back
Because
to the
there isn't a
spinning
lot of
ball
us.
that you're claiming. Back to the spinning ball that you're claiming.
I definitely don't live in a basement, by the way. I don't have a basement. They don't really exist in Scotland.
You don't know where you live because you think you're on a spinning ball of
definitely know
water.
where I live.
Don't
I
Yeah,
live in
because
Scotland.
up is down and down is up. You think your basement ain't a
Up
basement
is down
that you
and
live
down
in.
is up. Who said that?
That's you. Yeah, that's you.
Oh my god, I need a fucking smoke.
Am I breaking your brain or what?
Oh, no, I'm laughing so hard. It's ridiculous. You've said nothing
Okay, can you
intelligent. It's incredible.
Can you bring me a piece of the
I can say
outer
the
core?
same for you, so ditto.
No, I don't have the ability to do that.
Okay, I don't have
Yeah,
the
you don't have
ability
the
to get you
ability
a
to say
piece of the
anything
firmament
intelligent.
either.
Correct.
I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to the other guy.
Yeah, I know, but I was just, letting you know.
You were just being a penis, I understand.
Like you.
So you
Yeah.
you don't have the ability to
Reflecting your
get a
energy.
piece of the outer core, correct?
No, apparently, unfortunately, I don't have that ability. I left my, lava ship at the NASA moon base, so I can't do that.
No one can on the whole entire Earth, not just you.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. Pretty incredible. It takes a lot of faith to believe something like that.
Sorry, what'd you say? I dropped my headset.
I would think it would take a lot of faith to believe in it if no one can ever present you with a piece
Have
of
you
it.
ever heard of the science of seismology?
Yep. Oh, yeah, of course. Right?
Yeah,
Right? You send some radio waves through the Earth?
Ah, yeah. Brilliant way of determining what density stuff is.
Yeah, I learned that in like the 6th grade, bro.
Cool. And you didn't understand it then, and you still don't understand it now. I get it.
No, I just think it's weird they would try to teach you that in the 6th grade.
Well, we all know what you were doing during class time, so...
Oh,
This is
man.
fantastic evidence of the flat Earth, by the way.
Well, don't ask. I was looking for like provable evidence of the core, and now it's like I'm getting concerned because it's like slowing down, and it's going to be spinning the other direction.
Oh my god! Yeah, please just actually read those articles instead of the headlines, would you?
Doesn't it happen every 70 years or something?
No, it does not happen every 70 years. Fuck's sake!
When does it happen? How often?
Takes like millions of years. Billions.
Go ahead, read the article then, bud.
Yeah, the article doesn't say the Earth's core changes direction every 70 years.
Sure does.
No, it does not.
How
How can I trust you to tell me what happened 1,000,000 years ago when you can't even tell me what happened 100 years ago accurately?
I could tell you lots of things that happened 100 years ago.
Not accurately, it'd just be
Pretty accurate.
You're
Yeah,
just
there's
regurgitating
very
what you
accurate
were told.
records of what happened in 1923.
Craig, you're just regurgitating what you heard. You can't prove it yourself.
I've tested a lot of the things myself, so I'm good.
Oh, you've tested
Okay, so you can time travel?
We'll go on to another fake one.
You guys, new
I want
development.
it-
Rovers can time travel now.
Who said I could
That's a
time
knee
travel?
slapper, bro. That's a knee slapper.
You could time travel every time you look up at the stars. You think they're already dead.
Yeah, we're looking
Right.
billions of years in the past when we look at the sky. Isn't that right, Craig?
But you're looking into past anytime you look at anything because that's how seeing works.
No, you're looking at the present when you're looking out.
No, because light travels to your eyes, right?
Light's just there, bud. It doesn't travel anywhere.
Light is just there. Well, then please explain to me why during
You think all light is visible?
Let me.
You
ask
think
you a
all
question.
light is
Let me ask
visible?
you a question, right? If light is just there, then why is it when I'm playing a match of Overwatch and I whack off my ult as Orisa, fucking Hanzo can get away because of the lag? That's because
door right now.
Cool. And what happens when you do the experiment and it shows what we predict?
That it goes straight back and forth. I can
What
make it go
happens when it
straight back
doesn't?
and forth here in Florida if I wanted to.
No, you
What
couldn't.
happens
Not,
when it
not if your
doesn't?
experiment
Oh, we
was set
just
up properly.
redo. What happens when it
Well, I
doesn't?
got to set
we
it up
just
the way
reset
I
the
need it to
experiment
make
and
it.
do it
No,
over
you
and
gotta set it
over
up
again until you get
properly.
the
I
result
got to
you
set it
want.
up the way I need to, so that
You've
way
gotta set
I
it
get
up
the results
properly.
I expect, like you guys do.
You
Yeah,
gotta set
when
it
the
up
experiment doesn't
properly.
show the result you want, you just reset the experiment multiple times until you get the
No,
result
what
you
you
want.
do is you tend to take an
Science.
average of all the experiments that you do and see where the
No, they
outliers
don't.
in the data are.
No, they don't,
Oh,
Craig.
no, you don't, because
Yes,
you
that's
throw
how
away
you do
negative parallax
experimentation.
every time. You
No,
throw
no,
away
Craig,
negative
they did
parallax
3
every time.
attempts. And the
Negative
first 2 were
parallax
thrown
is
out.
the outlier because it is a mistake.
Yeah, just like the Antarctica when it was spinning backwards, it must have been the outlier
Not
because it was a
scientific at all.
mistake.
Yeah, so the
It's
one
spun the
time they
wrong
did
way.
it and every other time they did it, they get the right, what they expect.
No, they
So
failed
what
2
do you-
times, got it right the last time, and stuck with it. They didn't
Yes.
average anything out.
Thank
read
you.
it.
Holy shit.
I'm just reading through it now to 'cause I don't think
Go
that's
ahead.
actually how it went.
We'll wait.
Read it out loud for us. It's amazing. I love it. It's actually quite funny. Almost as funny as the Earth is orbiting the sun.
And I had Zanuck and all the Globers lying about it when I brought it up. So let's see if you're honest or not.
Let's get the honesty. I have faith in you, Craig. I know you're better than this. That toxicity
says-
is no good, man.
It says it was difficult to make the pendulum swing in a plane instead of an ellipse. After several attempts with various techniques of holding the bob and dropping it, we always got some kind of an ellipse instead of a plane. This adds to our error because it's more difficult to locate and mark the pendulum's arc's apex. A way to do it is to suspend the bob by tying it off with a piece of string and letting it settle, then burn through the string, which is what is done in the experiment that I tend to show. The bob would then
No,
drop
it's not.
without any
It's
outside
not.
force and swing in the plane. Since it's against the Antarctic Treaty to have any open flames at the South Pole, we couldn't do this. After much practice, Mike Town got very adept at dropping the bob so that it arced in a plane. Says nothing
That's super
about
scientific.
where it was failed
Keep going.
twice.
Keep going.
I've read through the whole thing. That was the end.
No, you haven't.
Conclusions.
First attempt. First attempt. Keep reading.
Okay. Standing on the bottom of the world. Our
It's near
first
the
attempt
top.
at
It's
showed
near the
Earth
top of the
spinning-
paper.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, with the first attempt, right? The first attempt showed the Earth spinning backward from what we expected. We didn't notice this at first because we're all from the Northern Hemisphere and are accustomed to the... Well, right.
Are you trusting scientists?
Wait.
Hold
on.
Spun the wrong way, Craig. That's weird.
It spun the
Almost
wrong way
like it's
from what
random
they
chance.
expected because they're from the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, why?
What
Because
kind
they
of
were,
science
because
is
they were in
that
the Southern
stupid?
Hemisphere.
What kind of science
Exactly.
is that stupid?
Read it, right. Our first attempt with the
Yeah, we got
pendulum
more
showed
liars.
backwards from what we expected.
We got more liars, boys.
We didn't
Yeah,
notice the
but
first
Craig,
because
you're
we're
missing-
from the Northern Hemisphere and
Craig,
accustomed
Craig.
to spinning. Let me read the paper,
Craig,
and then I'm reading
Keep
the
reading.
paper.
Keep reading. It says they had to
Anti-clockwise
adjust for it.
We then realised that from our frame of reference, the Earth should be spinning clockwise, so we had to modify the pendulum. At an altitude of 11,000
darn.
plus feet, we think a bit more slowly. The opening picture shows that the three of us needed next to the pendulum with the weight hanging in the vertical configuration. The air resistance against weight caused the pendulum itself to rotate. This gave us spurious results for our first attempt. So what happened was because they were in the Southern Hemisphere, they didn't notice that it was going the wrong way from what they expected. What they found out, if you listen, was that the air resistance against the weight caused the pendulum itself to rotate. This gave us spurious results for our first attempt. Later, we fashioned the weight so that it was hanging horizontally to the plane of the floor. We got the results consistent with what was expected because they removed the air current that was disturbing it. And that's what you do with experiments, right? You remove things that aren't supposed to be part of the experiment. You remove variables that are outside of.
Yeah, I thought they would set it up properly, though. You know.
Yeah, aren't they smart enough to set it up for right in the first place? Aren't these like scientists? And you said they get less clear-headed at 11,000 feet. I've been 11,000 feet. We jump out of helicopters with a snowboard trapped to our feet and go down the mountain from 11,000. You think we could do that without a clear mind?
Are you denying that you can get lightheaded when you're at high altitude?
Wait, do you really do that?
No, I said clear-minded, bro, not lightheaded.
Yeah, the same thing. That's the point.
You really do
What?
that, dude?
Lightheaded and clear-minded are the same thing?
Yeah, if you're lightheaded, you're not going to be clear-minded, are you?
What?
Because you're lightheaded. Your thoughts aren't clear. What do you think?
Are you telling me that I get lightheaded every time I go to 11,000 feet to the point that I would make a pendulum spin the wrong way as a scientist that does this for a living?
Now, again, let me respond to one person at a time.
Greg.
Right. So let me respond to one person at a time. So wait, stop.
Yeah, let me say something.
No, I'm talking right now. Right. So stop.
I got next.
Okay. So what they found out was when they set up the experiment the first time that there was an air current that was giving them spurious results. Just because they didn't notice that the first time doesn't mean that they're stupid. It means that they didn't realize there was. I'm still talking. I'm still talking. I am still talking. I'm still talking. No, I'm still talking.
You're lying.
How about you exert some self-control? Is that possible?
I will. I got next.
Right. Here we go. And be quiet. So, what they found was, as it says during their first attempt, that they were getting air currents, which was giving them spurious results.
It doesn't say that, Craig.
I literally just read it out. Now, again,
you
exert some self-control.
You did not read it out.
Please exert some self-control.
You didn't read it.
Are you going to exert some self-control? Are you
I'll let you ride. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Good boy. Well done. So, our first attempt with the pendulum showed the Earth... I'll read it again. Our first attempt with the pendulum showed the Earth spinning backward from what we expected. Blah, blah. So, we modified the pendulum. The opening picture shows the thrust needle next to the pendulum with the weight hanging in the vertical configuration. The air resistance against this weight caused the pendulum itself to rotate. This gave us the spurious results for our first attempt. That's the words on the paper.
No, it's not.
I'm reading it right now. I'm literally reading the paper right now. The air resistance against this weight. The air resistance against this weight. I'm still talking. The air resistance against this weight caused the pendulum itself to rotate.
Okay. Now let's read the one at the equator.
We're talking about this right now.
Yeah, because you want to avoid the equator.
This gave us spurious results for our first attempt. So the air currents gave them spurious results for their first attempt. So they adjusted it to remove that variable and then got the expected results, which is what you do in science. You
read the second attempt. Read the second attempt, Craig.
Yeah. So our second attempt showed the Earth rotating in the proper direction, but an angular velocity twice what was expected. So 12 hours later. We expected some kind of government conspiracy, but decided to make a further modification and try it again. Our last attempt showed the Earth spins on axis once every 24 hours, as expected.
There you go.
So we were somewhat disappointed we did not uncover a government cover-up. So yeah, they adjusted the experiment to make sure it was working properly.
3rd time's a try.
Right, and once they got the experiment working properly,
so he can admit that he was lying
properly, it showed what you expected to show.
Yeah, I can do that too with like anything. If I just
it's called 3 strikes and you're out, bud. 3 strikes and you're out.
So it's stinking cold at the South Pole, and the air is very thin. After hiking up 5 flights of 7,000 feet, we had to stop and rest. Blah blah. Difficult to make the pendulum swing in a plane instead of an eclipse. We went through all that. So once they actually got the experiment working the way that it was, is properly without any external variable forces, they were managed to get to swing exactly what you expected it to do. So
they nailed it.
But
here's the thing: anyone
that does this pendulum, anyone that does this experiment anywhere in the world and does it properly, gets the correct results. I've done it myself as part of my physics degree.
How many attempts did it take you?
Actually worked first time.
One? Yeah. Nice. You're so much better at science than these scientists.
Yeah, you should be the scientist, dude. You should be the one. You wouldn't get lightheaded at the 11,000 feet and by accident think that I was spinning backwards. You would never do that, Craig. Come on,
I mean,
be honest. You wouldn't do that.
If you say so.
I think you're better than that. So can we read from the one on the equator now?
I don't have that handy right now.
Oh, I've been waiting for it because I've been looking for that for a long time. From everything I've researched, it says they do it like up to the equator, and then they just assume that the equator wouldn't recess at all.
I do have a
Yeah, I don't think
no one's ever done it at the equator. No one has actually ever done it at the equator. They just say, obviously, the maths work.
So, how about you do it at the equator and see what you get?
We are. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we're working on it, bud. We're just getting started. Don't worry.
And will you do the
2023 is a big year, bud.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it 5 times until we get it to swing straight.
No, are you going to do it properly?
Oh, of course. We're going to just keep going with different attempts until we get it.
No,
we get our expected results.
Are you
We're gonna do it right next. We're gonna do it right next to the lady that's flushing the toilet on either side of the mountain in Ecuador.
Are you going to do it properly?
We're gonna do it with her. She's gonna help us do the trick, or the experiment. You know that lady in Ecuador at the top of the mountain?
I know that she's got her little trick that isn't really an explanation of Coriolis.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible, right? It almost says, and I've been sold that my whole life as if that was true.
Craig, can you walk us through how to do it properly?
Yeah, make sure there's no outside forces that are making it so it's not working properly. Make sure when you release it, it is, there's no forces added whilst you're releasing the pendulum. Best way to do it with string and burning the string with a lighter or something. Make sure there's no electromagnetic interference. You can do that by adjusting the material. That's the best way. Make sure that there's a free swinging gimbal that allows the pendulum to maintain its position in 3D space without
Make sure that there's free
force being attached to it. Make sure that the pendulum is nice and long. The longer the pendulum, the longer the amplitude of the swing, so more chance for the Coriolis force to affect what is going on, which is the reason why the pendulum swings. If you set up the
like in a stairwell,
yeah, stairwell's a really good one. Yeah.
Okay. All right, makes sense. We'll have to give it a try.
So why is it though when it's done all around the world in general you get the result that you expect?
Why wouldn't they do it at the equator? I feel like the 3 places I would do it the most would be the North Pole, the South Pole, and the equator.
Why would you do it somewhere where you don't see anything happen? That sounds like the most boring place to do it to me.
No, because that would be the most interesting, because you expect it to always do something different, and if it just went back and forth, that'd be the coolest thing to see, because it's the rarest. That's how like cool things are. The more rare, the cooler.
Well, I'd prefer to see things happening.
You will. You'll see it going back and forth and not recessing. How amazing is that?
That's a bit boring, actually, isn't it?
You ever seen that?
Of nothing happening? Yeah, I've seen nothing happening quite a lot. It's boring.
What do you mean you've seen nothing happening? That would be the pendulum doing something different than it does any other place on Earth. That would be amazing.
It would be the pendulum doing nothing. That's a bit boring.
I always wondered that. Why can't you just have the pendulum doing nothing, just hanging there, and then like eventually it'll just start, right? Because the Earth's spinning,
nothing
or no?
in physics says that should happen.
I understand, because it's all relative in motion, and it's actually moving at 1,000 miles an hour.
Nothing in physics says it should happen that way, because it's not a spinning globe. Thanks.
No,
because they treat it as a stationary.
Nothing in physics says that should happen if Earth was a spinning globe or any kind of spinning anything with something on it at the rate Earth is spinning. There's no reason that a pendulum would start swinging on its own. There's no physics to explain why that would ever happen.
So if I put a pendulum on a merry-go-round and like I hand it off to the dude so it's moving with him at the same time, doesn't it like just want to like go out a little from the centrifugal force?
If there's a large enough centrifugal force it would, yeah, but on Earth the centrifugal force is tiny.
So it would just move a tiny amount.
Well, the centrifugal force at the equator is 0.3 0.3 meters per second squared.
No, every time you tell me it's like this super small number, it makes me so
0.03.
suspicious.
0.03. Thank you, Rufus.
You get measurements like that when you're trying to prove something's moving. It's not those little tiny numbers. That's what happens. And you get like super far distances when everything's parallel up from you, and then you accidentally mess up your math and triangulate it.
You just
That's how that all works.
That's all this is.
Huh?
All this is just you not believing things and displaying personal incredulity. There's very little I can actually debate with here, because it's just you going, I don't believe that's a thing. It's not real. I've never seen it with my own eyes. It's not a thing. You know, that you haven't got.
Sorry, I didn't mean to come. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come off that way.
That's exactly how it's coming off, which is typical of flat earthers not actually having any evidence for the Earth being flat.
Well, I'm going to do the Ecuador thing. I'm telling you, I'm really going to do that because I think it'd be interesting to see. I know you think it would be boring, but I think it would be interesting. Like, how weird would it be if it ended up just turning like it always does?
Hey, I think Ireland had. Oh, sorry, Reese. Go ahead, dude.
Oh no, you're good. Go for it.
I feel like you were trying to get in there too. I don't want to do that. I was trying to set up Ireland, who's too polite to get himself in there. Whenever you guys have a break.
Yeah, I mean, this conversation. Once you've done your experiment, then come back and we can continue this conversation. If there's someone else who wants to talk.
Yes,
thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
I was just going to ask one question.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
In your model, the Earth rotates once every 23 hours, 56 minutes. And if I was to say, tell me somewhere on the Earth that is plus 11 hours, I would say roughly Australia.
Yeah.
The question is, can you name me one place that is minus 11 hours on the same calendar day?
I'm not sure. Time zones aren't equal, so it might not be the case.
But if your Earth is spherical and didn't have to overlap time, which is actually what happens, which is why it isn't on the same calendar day, because Alaska is minus 9 hours, and that's where the international date line starts. And where's the 3 missing hours?
There's no.
What would that be?
There's no missing hours. Sorry.
No, correct. When I say missing, they're overlapping. Okay, because you're onto a different calendar day, which means, is it really rotating?
Well, again, time zones aren't like exactly laid out equal for each hour around the Earth. That's not how it works.
Well, they are on a flat Earth map, though, right? Interestingly.
No, then no. Oh, good.
He's like, wait, what? He's like, wait, let me think about it. Right now, time zones make way more sense spread out. Where it's 12 o'clock wherever the sun is as it rotates over flat Earth, and that's an equal like 24-hour split. You just split it up 24
aren't like equal. That they're all weird shaped and stuff. That's my point.
No, but only goofy and weird shaped for you. Sorry, Island. Go ahead.
Yeah, also on a.
That's what I mean. It's on a different calendar day because where the time zone starts for Russia is like 9 hours or hold on. It's like 6 hours or something ahead. 9 hours. It's actually at the east coast of America where Russia turns 12:01 midnight, and Alaska is 9 plus 9 or minus 9 hours. So whenever Russia has started their new day and it goes across, the last 3 hours of Alaska, from 9 p.m. midnight to 12 p.m. midnight is overlapping time, which means it isn't necessarily rotating for 23 hours, 56 minutes. You've created time zones that create a 24-hour, but it's not actually 24 hours.
Ruhif, do you want to take this one? I'm going to have a smoke.
Oh, come on, I want to hear your answer. I want to hear where minus 11 hours is.
I've done this one recently, so I'll let Ruhif take it.
Yeah, time zones are meant to approximate when your solar noon is, right? If Alaska is minus 9, when according to the sun, right, the sun passing your meridian should be like 12 o'clock midday, right? In Alaska, if it's only 9 hours apart, 9 hours from UTC or whatever, instead of 11, then its solar noon will be at least 2 hours away from 12 o'clock. Right, that's all it is. It proves absolutely nothing. right? It's just an approximation.
Time zones are decided politically to each region.
Yeah.
They're not.
Is
They're not
Alaska
actually
just one time
linked
zone?
to.
I think so,
Alaska's
yes.
-9 from
Yeah,
DMT,
and
right?
isn't Alaska the
You can't
biggest
have-
continent, the biggest state in America? So it's fucking massive, right?
Well, there's 4 time zones there. A comparable size. Australia only has 2.
Australia has 3, thanks.
Australia has 2, isn't it?
3.
Yeah, I was about to correct that too, Ruth.
Australia has 3.
Well, they're still comparable in size, but America has 4. But it's still, you can have plus 11 hours, and you know exactly where that is. That's almost at the start of the international date line, but you can't have 11 minus.
You can.
You can't point
They
to where it
could.
is on the same calendar day.
Yeah, they can. They could split up Alaska into different time zones. They have chosen, arbitrarily or for whatever reason, they have chosen not to. That's all it is.
I think it's to do with a low
Time zones are
population.
decided politically.
Yeah. Hawaii is about 10, minus 10.
Well, what about China then, Craig?
China is on a different calendar day.
Yeah, fine.
That's why I said the same calendar day, because they claim it rotates 23 hours, 56 minutes.
Right, but you understand that it's
China
a
uses
choice,
one and
right?
has a huge population.
Yeah, China's got one time zone crossing, I don't know how many degrees of longitude,
I'm not-
50 degrees
I'm-
longitude?
Yeah, I mean,
So you
I
don't-
don't know if that's the case for everywhere, but I thought I heard that Alaska they decided one time zone because it's a small population spread out kind of around the edge of Alaska, and it would make more sense financially for them. I don't know why China do it. That's just what I read about Alaska.
Did you
But
just
it's a
make that
choice.
up, Craig?
These are conflating political time zones, and I accept that time zones can be used politically, okay? That's irrelevant. We
It's
can,
not that
on
they're
one
used
calendar
politically;
day,
they're
go
decided
plus 11.
politically.
Yeah, they're decided politically. But we can go plus 11 and know where it is. We can't go minus 11 on the same calendar day. I think the 24-hour...
Yeah, no government has chosen to have that time zone. It's a choice.
I mean, if time zones were split out evenly, into 12 portions or 24 portions or whatever per hour on the Earth, then you could have that, right? If it was
showing that it doesn't work now, so
however many, if it was just split out into however many equal segments, right? If that was the case, then you could have the 11 hours here and there. But the time zones aren't set out like that.
How is this proving a globe?
It's
not.
You don't know anything about time
Yeah,
zones.
let's get to proving the globe. Come on, hurry up.
Yeah, time zones have nothing to do with Earth shape. This is weird.
Yeah, who the fuck cares about time zones?
Craig knows nothing about them.
Back to proving the Narnia globe.
You, Craig.
Well, at the beginning you said it was all jagged, and I said it works well in flat Earth, and you said no. Did you see my meme, Craig?
If it was set out like that and the Earth was the Earth's a globe and the time zones were completely
You're saying they'd be weirdly shaped.
No, I'm saying if they are weirdly shaped, but if they weren't,
I know. So on a flat Earth, it would look weird. I get it.
No, they're perfect slices. They're perfect. They're not fucked up on flat Earth.
No, Shane, what he's saying is if we drew them the way the time is right now on the globe, then they would look weird. That's what he's saying.
Time zones have nothing to do with the shape.
Because they would look
They are
retarded.
purely choices.
Yeah, Shane,
But
that's
not the time zones that people use.
That's on the Gleason map. That's not time zones, bud.
Those are not the time zones that people use. Those are just colored sections of longitude.
Yeah.
Craig, we're not talking about the Gleason map. We're talking about the time zones would evenly split around the flat Earth from the middle all the way out in 24 sections.
Right.
Those are not the actual time zones.
Is it politically decided?
Yeah.
Nothing to do
We
with the
get
shape
it.
of the Earth.
We get it, Rufus.
Well, it does. Why do you say it then? It really does.
If the time zones were equal, that would be the case on both a flat Earth and a globe, but it's not.
There are actual time zones.
I was just making
by the
the
way.
point.
Or people who kept saying it's not time zones. No, that means definitely.
It's not the time zones.
It's 0 plus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4 minus 6 plus 6.
That's not showing
What do you
the
mean?
actual time zones. If you look at the countries it's on, because
3 in Australia.
it's not straight like that, Shane. That's not how the time zones go.
It's not straight on your goofy projected map.
No,
China got one time on yours either.
There's points where it just like changes 90 degrees and goes out to the side and stuff.
Yours is goofy. The whole thing about the globe is goofy.
It's the same, Shane. Those time zones exist on the flat Earth map as well.
What you're showing there on the Gleason's map is not the time zones that we use in real life. That's the point.
Look at China on your map, Shane.
You guys are talking about two different things.
Yeah, I know.
He fully understands that.
I don't think he does. He thinks that's the actual
thinks
time
that those
zones in
are the
real
time
life.
zones.
Look at Australia. Australia doesn't.
He's saying they're representing them. Oh my
God! It
Jesus
doesn't
Christ.
represent what the time zones are.
I just wanted to show you that it makes perfect sense on flat Earth, and you said no, but then you checked yourself because you're like, well, shit.
It doesn't.
Maybe I don't know. I don't
That's not
know.
the time zones. That it doesn't make sense on Earth because that isn't the time zones.
Yeah, because these have manipulated the time zones to create a 24-hour day. However, the actual rotation, if it is rotating as you claim, wouldn't match 24 hours. That's why.
If the time zones are spread out evenly, it would. Oh my God!
No, not on the same calendar day, because where the time zone starts there, right, down the Bering Strait, 12:01 for Russia midnight starts on the east coast of America.
Yeah.
Right. Shane, do you understand those are not the time zones?
Overlapping time.
Yes, I understand there are irregularities within political boundaries, dude. I understand.
Okay.
But that's a separate issue. That's
very much so.
Right, here's my point. Okay, if the time zones were set out equal, so each hour had an equal amount of distance, all right, then it could do what you're saying with having 11 a.m. here whilst 11 p.m. there. But they're not set out like that, so it doesn't.
Wow. I think we're all clear on that.
Good. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm glad you realize you have to manipulate the time.
No! Oh, for fuck's sake.
Hey, Greg, wouldn't it make more sense for hurricanes to spin the opposite direction that they actually do on your globe?
Not in the slightest, no.
Why? Why not? Explain.
Because the Coriolis force, force makes things do what it does and makes them spin in that direction, as we expect.
So from the equator, as they move north, they spin to the right, meaning clockwise.
Yeah,
but
air is
hurricanes go counterclockwise.
Yeah,
but hurricanes go counterclockwise, so it's really dumb. They say that the air moves past each other in the middle. It doesn't make sense. Stupid.
Why you say it doesn't make sense, but can you explain why on the globe model that happened?
Just personal incredulity. That's all.
As long as you admit that.
Because it's all swirling clockwise in the north, according to Coriolis. Why in the world would they meet in the middle and spin the opposite way?
Anti-clockwise in the north.
Yeah, they spin anti-clockwise, but Coriolis wind, as it moves north, it's going to go to the right, meaning clockwise. As it goes to the south, it's going to go to the right, meaning clockwise. It's all moving clockwise. Why do they spin
anti-clockwise?
Right, hold on.
The winds don't. The winds go clockwise.
The confusion here is about which way the wind is moving.
They do. Think of Coriolis.
Hold on a second.
As things move north from the equator, they deflect to the east.
And where does that leave? Where does that leave the low pressure?
Oh, shut up.
To the west, right? To the west.
It's literally all cycloning
to the west, right?
Yet they go anti-clockwise.
Where is the low pressure then? To the west?
I don't even know if you can say it that way. The way it's set up. How are you going to?
It misses to the east. So where is the low pressure?
Where it just was, I suppose.
Yeah, to the west, right? So which way is it going to rotate?
Northwest, if it's moving south, to the south.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Like, come on, dude.
If I'm headed towards a low pressure system, okay, I'm moving north, I'm going to miss it to the east. So which way then is the air going to go?
To the east and keep cycling.
To the west. That's the low pressure is to the west.
So how does that result in the eye of a hurricane forming the opposite way?
It's not the opposite way. If you miss it to the east, but your air is then not sucked towards the west, but moving towards the west, that's what gives you anti-clockwise rotation.
So the air moving west is enough to make all the wind decide to change its mind and go the other way.
Doesn't change its mind. High pressure goes to the low pressure at the center of the hurricane.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Coriolis causes it to miss to the east, but it's still going towards the low pressure, which is now to the west.
East.
What?
This is why they rotate anti-clockwise.
Why would
I've explained it.
Keep rotating that way.
I've just explained why it spins.
Okay, well, it's a weak explanation. Everyone in here
It's
sees
a
it.
perfect explanation just because you don't understand it.
I totally understand it. I just don't think it's possible.
You clearly don't.
Why don't I understand? I don't know entropy. I don't know that high pressure moves to low pressure.
Okay.
I do.
So which way
Well, there you go then. There's the issue sorted.
I've looked it up. I've read about it. It just doesn't make logical sense.
And is that what it
That's
read? Is that what it said when you read
They
up
spin
about
the
it?
opposite way of the winds. The hurricanes form and spin the opposite way that the winds apparently deflect. That's weird.
It's not. I just literally explained it.
Right.
I heard your explanation, Ruhith. I don't like it. I think it's stupid. Let's move on.
That's
try it
right.
again.
Let's
Let's try it again,
saying
shall we?
you think something's stupid. Brilliant. Well done.
Yeah,
let's try it again.
I opened my argument with that.
Right,
I have
let's
no
try it again.
shame. That's fine.
So that the wind is moving to the north because that's where the low pressure is, right? But because of Coriolis, right, it deviates to the right, right? But where then is the low pressure?
To the west, like you said.
Right.
now
So
how's
where's
that turn
the
into-
wind going to
how's
go?
that turn into a counterclockwise motion? Go ahead.
Wait,
I'm listening.
so can I try to understand this real quick? So you're saying the wind is going north, and then due to Coriolis, it's pushed to the east, causing a low pressure to the west, and then the air then in a high pressure in the west starts to move east now.
No.
Because there's a low pressure
pressures
there.
tend
That doesn't
to,
make
the
any
low pressure
sense.
tends to stay where it is. The low pressures are very slow moving.
Oh, okay. So the low pressure was caused by the wind deflecting to the east, but it just stays there after that happens.
No.
Okay.
Deep breath, Ruhith.
Well, go ahead. Explain away. You're doing great, kid.
I've done
Keep
it
going.
twice now, and if you can't get it, it's a you problem.
Nah, you
it's
haven't.
not
You
causing
just
the
said
low
that the
pressure.
low
The low
pressure's
pressure
there,
system's already
and it
there.
causes the wind to come back west.
It's not causing the low pressure.
Causing the rotation. That's the rotation.
So the wind deflecting to the east causes the wind to come back west.
The wind missing to the east, but then still going towards the low pressure to the west, is what causes rotation of a cyclone or a hurricane.
That causes the cyclone because it's coming from every direction. Got it.
Yes, it's yeah.
No, I heard you. I understood it. I still think it's stupid.
Well, I'm just
then you
gonna
clearly
post
don't
in-
understand it.
I'm just going to post in the chat a paper from was it Harvard? It's Cole State EDU explaining exactly what Ruhith is explaining. So that is the
but if
known scientific explanation.
Yeah, but
just
if we
because
think
you
we're on a
don't
globe,
like it doesn't really
no,
matter.
listen.
That's a
Just
you
because
problem.
we're on a globe. No, just
Yes,
because
we
we're
are,
on a
you're
globe, and then we notice that hurricanes go a certain way in the hemisphere, then they try to figure it out. Doesn't mean it's 100% correct. I think it sounds flimsy. That's my opinion. Let's move on.
Science doesn't care about your opinion, so there's that thing.
I know. Like I said, personal incredulity. I agree with you that I'm not right because I think it's dumb. I just wanted to get your take on it.
Right, there's an easy enough way to look at it. If you're looking at a high pressure system, the winds are exiting that area. If they're moving to the north from that, they're going to move toward the east, which causes a clockwise rotation. If you've got a low pressure system, the air is trying to get into there. So air coming from the bottom of that low pressure system into it is going to try to go to the east, which spins the whole thing counterclockwise. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, a bunch of stuff's trying to go east, so it causes, for some reason, the wind to all spin west.
You missed the entire thing. You weren't even
No, I
listening.
heard you. I heard you.
No, you definitely didn't. I didn't just say they're all just trying to go east. That wasn't my entire conversation.
Let's move on.
He went east.
Good call, Ruth. Isn't Ruth great?
Well done, Globers.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well done, Globers. We can explain stuff. So, if the Earth's flat,
Yeah, I got
why
a
are
third
hurricanes
bet.
doing what they do? Here, let's switch it round. If the Earth's flat, why are hurricanes doing what they do?
Well, I can answer that. Can I answer that?
If you want,
I know the answer.
Don't give them ideas, Ruhif, but go ahead.
Because there's a magical chamber in the sky that opens up with a portal and the wind comes out.
Nice. I was told
that's the good one.
I was told that the sun heats up the water as it goes overhead.
The thing is how the sun and the moon move in that direction.
I don't know about you, but I don't remember hurricanes following the sun.
Correct. The sun apparently moves between the tropics, right? There's no correlation between that and hurricanes. It's purely the equator is the correlation.
If you move your hand over water, the swirls you get are clockwise above your hand and counterclockwise below it. So it would make sense if the sun has some sort of wake as it's moving across, then that would happen.
But
the division line is
it makes more sense on the globe.
There's no
the
correlation
division line is
between
not where the sun is. The division
Makes
line
more
is the
sense on your
equator.
globe.
There's no correlation between the position of the sun and where hurricanes form. So
Not in your world.
Yeah,
in reality,
In reality.
In reality.
yeah, there is. Yeah.
What are you
Hurricanes
talking
don't
about?
form on the
Bullshit.
North Pole. Hurricanes don't form on the North Pole. They only
not hot enough.
They only
It's
form
nothing
in
to do with where the sun
certain
is.
bands
Oh,
of latitude.
they still have sun
Yeah,
in the North Pole. You
sun
realize that?
travels a circuit. The sun travels a circuit along certain latitudes, and
Right.
hurricanes only appear on certain latitudes. So yes, it
There's
does
no-
have to do with it. Does
But the
have a
hurricane
direct
could be the
correlation
opposite
to
side
the
of the
position
Earth
of the sun. Yeah,
to
it
the-
does.
the
No.
sun.
There's no
No,
correlation
the most
between the
hurricanes
sun's
happen.
declination and
Yeah,
the
there is.
hurricane. No, there's
The
not.
most hurricanes
Only happen
We
within
only
a
talked.
certain group of latitudes. Latitudes
The
are
hur-
determined by the position of the sun, i.e.,
Right.
directly
I'll say it
correlated
again.
to the sun's position.
I'll
The
say it
most
again. There's
hurricanes
no
happen.
correlation.
Hold on. The most hurricanes happen when the sun and the moon are right by each other on the same place on their track over flat Earth, of course.
Right. There's no
When you look at that
correlation.
historically, that's when the most hurricanes form.
There's no correlation between the sun's declination and hurricanes.
When the sun and the moon are right near each other
There's,
in the
there's
sky.
no
over flat Earth,
correlation
there's
between the
more
sun's
hurricanes.
position,
Look it up.
declination,
Look it up.
and hurricanes.
Look it up, Ruth.
That would be-
Correlation.
The sun travels a circuit in the fucking sky, and it has
Right.
certain latitudes that it's directly over
Right.
geographically.
Right.
The hurricane only occurs within a certain bounds of latitudes, which is
Right. I'll
determined
say
by the
it for a
position of the
sixth
sun.
time. Do I need to say it
completely
6 times?
dependent on where the sun is.
Do I need to say it 7 times? There is no correlation
just hand
between
wave
the
miss
sun's
the shift.
declination and hurricanes. All right?
Guys-
Your theory is that, let's say the sun is over the Tropic of Capricorn. Your theory would be there could be a hurricane in the southern hemisphere between the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn going anti-clockwise. That's your theory. That is not borne out in reality.
anyone
there is
hear me
no
say
correlation.
Who
Did anyone
cares
hear
what
me
you
say
have to
that,
say?
or did you hear him just say that's my theory?
Who
Did
cares
anyone
what
else
you
hear
have to
that? Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous, dude.
So,
There's no correlation.
The problem that he's pointing out for you, the
A direct
problem that
correlation because there ain't hurricanes going over the North Pole.
the problem that he's
Wrong
pointing out for you.
latitude. Wrong place where the sun goes over. Sun
The
doesn't
problem
go
that
over
he-
there.
Jesus Christ, dude. The problem that he's pointing out for you is that when we look at hurricanes that occur in reality, the rotation direction, the boundary for that is always the equator. If the sun was causing these by some wake, as was explained earlier, the boundary would change with the position of the sun. That doesn't happen.
The equator never changes, and it is a
The
circle. The equator is a circle determined by the sun's path. The equator is directly
Hurricane
correlated
season.
to the sun's position. No arguments
Hurricane
about
season.
it. That's how they get the fucking equator. How do we get the equator? Oh, we look at the sun. Oh, so you're saying the sun's position and the equator are directly the same fucking thing, basically. A mathematical transform.
Here's the thing, right? No one's denying that hurricanes tend to form over warmer
Yes, they are.
areas, right?
Yes, they are.
Right. No one's denying that. And everybody knows that hurricanes in general tend to form over warmer tropical areas. But there is no direct correlation between the sun's declination and the position of where hurricanes form on Earth. If it was the case that it was the sun heating up the air that causes the hurricanes, what you would find is that hurricanes would always happen after the sun passes your local zenith. But that doesn't.
Do hurricanes happen in the tropical zone?
Mostly, yes.
Does the sun ever leave the tropical zone?
Oh, do I have to explain this again?
I mean, like, it's just the basic correlation that we're saying, right? Like,
no, the correlation, you guys, like the guy said, you pull your finger through like the water, and the vortexes or whatever spin anti-clockwise to the north of the sun and clockwise to the south of the sun. All right. If that was the cause of the direction of rotation, then let's say the sun is over the southern tropics, we should have anti-clockwise rotation north of the tropics, but south of the equator.
It's not the location of the sun; it's the direction of travel. I would say.
Direction of rotation.
It's not correlated.
Yeah, it's not correlated. We do not get anti-clockwise rotation in those equator to southern tropics area. We do not get it.
No, you get it in the northern hemisphere.
In the north, hurricanes don't happen.
So the delineation is what? The equator or the path of the sun?
Hurricanes don't happen when the sun's that far out. It's winter here.
The equator is determined by the sun. Yeah.
Right. But what is the delineation? What is the delineation of the rotation? Is it the path of the sun at the time of the hurricane, or is it always the equator?
You say it's Earth spin. We say it's sun spin.
Right.
You're saying
again.
not Earth spin.
Yeah, I'm explaining why not. Right. If it was caused by the sun, right, if that was the line that delineated, north of it is anti-clockwise and south of it is clockwise, then we will see anti-clockwise in the southern hemisphere, but we don't.
We're not saying it's directly because of the sun.
You're saying it's the Earth spinning.
No.
We're saying it's the sun spinning. Then you're saying it's not. Has nothing to do with the sun.
Okay. Even though the delineation line is the equator, nothing to do with the sun position.
You're saying the sun has nothing to do with the equator.
No, I didn't say that. I said the sun has nothing to do with the direction of rotation.
Right. Well, and then it was the declination of the sun, right? So we determine like our position, right, where the tropics are according to the declination of the sun, how high or low it is, and we can say our position. So when it moves in and out of the tropics of Cancer, that is the declination of the sun, yeah. And then you're saying no, it has nothing to do with the tropics. Yeah.
No, I said it has nothing to do with the direction of rotation of a hurricane.
And now it's not the answer.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the way the direction the Earth spins.
I like
the direction of Earth spin
what was said to other claims. Okay. The claim that was actually being addressed, the one that was on the table, was that the sun causes the rotation direction for the hurricanes. We've pointed out several times now the location of the sun and the delineation for which way the hurricanes rotate are not correlated. That's what's being said here. It's not being tied to any other claim like you keep repeatedly doing.
You say the Earth spins. Other people say the sun spins. Like almost everybody says the sun moves over top of us in this direction, and only a few people hold fast. And no, wait a minute, it is the Earth spin, right? But it's the same transformation. Yeah, and you're saying it's not the causation, or just because it's correlated.
If I ask you what is the cause of the rotation in separate hemispheres of hurricanes, what would you say?
Well, I would just find that where it happens from the equator into the tropics, all determined from the sun's position.
We've just demonstrated, or we've asserted at least, that the sun position has nothing to do with it. There's no correlation between the sun's position.
Well, then you don't believe in that.
I know the answer.
You don't believe that. I don't know what to tell you.
Except that hurricanes only happen where the sun keeps and no other place on Earth.
Yeah,
that's not a correlation.
Yeah, the sun causes the heat of the ocean. That's
the
fine.
spin of the Earth.
Right, but what causes the direction of rotation?
Oh, Coriolis. We don't see it anywhere except for that, and that's definitely the answer.
Well, that's not true. I was field artillery. We definitely see Coriolis.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that depends on which artillery guy you ask.
Yeah, I don't know why
No,
you're
it
holding
doesn't.
fast, Ruth, if it went to a point that is your
Definitely
point.
does.
Like, that's your point, that is the sun's position. That's how we know where we are on the Earth, at, the equator. And we're saying,
We're
the
talking
sun, I
about
think
the
you're right, the sun
direction
does have
of
something to do with it.
rotation
You're saying,
of
no, the sun
hurricanes.
doesn't have anything to do with it. And so
What
you're
is
only
the
I
doing
thought
it
you would
denying
call
the
out
Earth.
the guy that said it depends on which field artillery guy you ask.
So no
Can you
thanks.
tell
What
me
is
some
the
other
Well,
course?
yeah,
field
because
manual that field artillery uses?
because I have asked an actual guy who shoots artillery in the United States Army, and he said he doesn't account for it. So I don't know. I guess he's lying, and you're the one telling the truth.
A 13 Bravo. A 13 Bravo does not do any of the direction of fire calculations. A 13 Bravo will never know if he's accounting for Coriolis or not because he's getting the direction of fire from somebody like me.
Hey, Craig, why don't you tell us about that? Craig, why don't you tell us about that old Navy story or whatever you said, where they were aiming wrong and not taking in Coriolis into account?
Yeah.
And then they were missing the target?
Yeah.
They corrected for the wrong hemisphere.
Yeah. Which war was it? I always get it wrong.
Well, it never happened, so that's going to be hard
Thanks,
to do.
Jeff.
I mean,
So it'd be well worth
you
your
know-
time, Craig, to recount the story.
As I looked it up, it's a proven lie.
Are you sure?
I think so. I'm 100% sure.
Bring up a story
Look
and
it up.
say it's a lie immediately.
Before it's even been told. Well done, Flerfs.
There's a lot of wars that happen in lies that happen in wartime. It's the best time to cover things up.
So anyway, field artillery, field manual 6-40. That's the historic name for it. They've since changed the nomenclature for it. Field manual 6-40 does correct for the Earth's rotation. That's Coriolis.
Okay, but if I have a manual that says lollipops and unicorns are going to hop out of my ass, should I look into that manual and use it as a source?
If that
Ideally,
manual
the
is
manual
telling
is
you to
giving you the
operate
most-
something, then probably.
Yeah, the manual is going to give you the best way to make a most accurate shot. If you're telling me that the manual was making all of the shots inaccurate on purpose, that's a problem for any armed forces.
So, if you get 2 helium balloons and you fill them up just so they're just hovering above the ground, and you put them apart, and you take a broom and wish it right through the center of those 2 balloons, they'll both spin opposite ways, just like the hurricanes and tornadoes.
Yep,
Yeah, the delineation between the direction of rotation for the hurricanes are north and south of the equator only. It has
Which is
nothing to
exactly
do with
what
the
happened.
sun's position, Godric. Thank you for bringing that back up again.
Yeah. Thought we'd finish that conversation.
Let's check into that, because I believe they spin on opposite sides, whether or not they're on each side of the sun. That's how they're spin, not because of the equator.
It doesn't have anything to do with the sun, no.
Yeah, no, it's just the position above or below the equator, north or south of the equator.
Which is determined by the sun.
Fine. The equator and the tropics are defined by the sun.
think it's been
There is
having to
no
do with-
correlation,
with the sun,
correlation
not the
between the
equator.
declination of the sun and the direction of rotation. Have we got it clear yet?
Say, Ruhif. So you say.
No, there isn't. It's fact.
So you say, Craig.
Yeah, can we get some data, though?
Craig.
Not today.
From where is this? santoherman.edu. There's no direct correlation between the sun's declination and the hurricane's declination is a measure of the angular distance of the sun from the celestial equator, and it varies over the course of the year as the Earth orbits the sun. Hurricanes, on the other hand, are formed over warm tropical waters and are influenced by a variety of atmospheric and oceanic conditions, including the sea surface temperatures, wind patterns, and atmospheric pressures. Overall, while the sun's declination is not directly linked to hurricanes, changes in the sun can have indirect effect on the conditions that influence hurricane formation and behavior, such as magnetic fields from sunspots and solar flares.
It's literally how the wind pattern works on flat Earth, right? That's how the wind is all the time. If you look at the wind pattern right now, that's what it's doing.
It's almost like they make more sense on a flat Earth.
North of the equator, it goes counter, and then south of the equator, it goes clockwise. That's so easy.
What are you
personally for Julie doesn't make
the wind
it Craig.
speeds. The issue is if you pull up the animations and look at the actual wind speeds, the actual distance that these winds are covering and the speed that they're required to cover that distance, that does not match real life. Yeah, we know it looks pretty with the winds going over around the North Pole, and then there's a bigger one that's going the opposite way around, but the distances, the actual amount of the land path this circle is, and the speed that the wind is going from point A to point B, that doesn't match real life because it doesn't go that fast in real life.
No one knows what you're arguing.
In real life, you could compare the speeds of the south to the north. Yeah. But if you look at the model, north is spinning one speed, south is going like 10 times faster to cover that exaggerated distance.
Are you talking about like that model that Jeranism showed of winds over an AE map? Is that what you're
I'm streaming it right now, I think, right? This one.
Oh, shit, sorry. I should probably go into that.
Right, yeah. So it does the globe to, so this is the wind pattern currently mapped to this elevation over Earth, right? And then we convert that to the AE map,
which we know isn't an accurate representation of reality.
Okay, but no, let's give it a chance first. Let it pull it up.
Yeah.
That's cool. North Pole, north of the equator is cool.
Come on, man.
Anything below that, bro, is just wrong.
I understand the difficulties and deficiencies of the AE map projection. I understand the attributes of the globe it uses. We really don't need to point it out each and every time, right? It's just a tool. I'm just showing that on this map, the winds go one direction in the north and another direction in the south, period, full stop. Why would that not influence the hurricanes? Thank you.
You know, now for a flat Earth solution to make things match, you could do the Pac-Man Earth projection. That'll solve the winds. That'll solve the distances.
On some of the locations south of the equator and some of the locations north of the equator, the wind speeds are actually going the same direction. You're looking at cells that have the same direction. There are different cells north of the equator. North of the equator, there are different cells going in different directions on even just that one side.
Yes,
and then on the south of the equator, there are cells going in different directions.
Fastest, biggest wind tunnels go in one direction. There are little pockets and empty pockets and little receding things, sure. But on the whole, they go one direction in the north and the other direction in the south.
On your stream, what does it mean if it's red? What does that mean?
Really fast winds, right? So that's the scale. It means it's 146 kilometers per hour winds, 90 miles an hour winds.
What makes the hurricanes move away from the equator? Like when they form and then they're like riding up like the coast. Why wouldn't you assume like they can go towards the equator?
Usually
it's just whatever direction they're going.
And in general, they would follow weather patterns. So, like anything, they would move towards
where the low pressures.
But when they get towards, say, a coastal area where there's massive changes in pressure, they tend to then follow the path of the coast and break up into smaller storms that will then hit the coast and be quite devastating.
Yeah, you'll see if a hurricane approaches the equator, it'll actually kill it. The equator kills hurricanes.
Game, I posted a link of Earth News School. Can you open that up real quick?
Oh. Sorry.
I'm gonna get up early tomorrow.
It's linked to a projection, and I slightly modified it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be concave Earth stuff, dude. I know.
No, it's not concave Earth. This is. I was gonna show the Pac-Man variation and how this solves your wind issue.
Waka waka waka.
Wait, is the wind
issue and sunlight issue and vernal equinox shadows issue?
Yeah, I don't have issues with flat. That's why I'm still a flat earther, right?
All that wind looks like it's going the same direction. No, am I missing something here?
Click the link that I posted in live stream text.
But is it all traveling west to east, or am I seeing it wrong?
Right? It looks
it is. This layout for a flat Earth is basically called the Pac-Man. It's called the Pac-Man.
I mean, it also depends on which altitude you're focusing on.
Just things work a little bit differently. And this fixes a shit ton of issues.
Well, not
the
the direction.
map has. A lot.
Directions go the same no matter what. It's just the intensity varies at different altitude.
Let me see
the things. The Southern Stars, it is even fixed.
Southern Stars are easy, dude.
Southern Stars is beautiful in this one.
Come on, Shane.
If you should come next week when I explain to these flat earthers how easy Southern Stars are.
Oh, how
Yeah.
easy 7 stars are. That sounds fun.
Easy.
Yes. I'm not
Shane,
sure
are
if
you
this
going
will
for
be a
top
good
left nomination
explanation.
next year?
They look like they're all moving the same direction.
Here, I just posted a video. Check
Does it
this
come
out.
with a trophy?
Fuck, it's
It comes with a T-shirt.
Well, I do love T-shirts.
Yeah, we get a special one printed and sent to the winner. Last year, they didn't. Mitchell from Australia didn't want his prize.
I like Mitchell from Australia. I use his stuff all the time.
Where
did you come
Ever
FTFE
since
last
he won
year?
top left, he disappeared.
FTFE, where did you come last year? You in the top 10?
Who?
You?
Me? No.
Yeah.
We've
Look,
only got
there's your
six-
7 stars fixed
we've
for
got
Flat
6
Earth.
nominations this year.
I was talking about last year. Where did you
Yeah. Last year, we made it a joke so that anyone could be in.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone was going to vote for me, right? I mean, I voted for me about 5 times.
Why is it called top left?
Because in
the Dunning-Kruger chart.
in 1998, scientists Dunning and Kruger basically did a study showing how people that are more confident in what they do are generally less adept at that thing, and that there's a particular path that a graph will take showing how confidence and ability changes over time. And the top left position is where people who are confident that they are right with absolutely no idea what they're talking about. We call it the throne of ignorance. Whereas people like me would be a middle point where I know enough to know how little I actually know.
Yeah, that's like when you're learning a skill, right? You're like unconsciously incompetent, then you become consciously incompetent, then you become, and then it goes through the stages, and then you end up becoming incompetently unconscious again, or whatever.
You reach the peak of enlightenment. That's when
you become stupid.
Confidently incorrect.
I'm always right about everything, so I'd be bottom right or top right. Or
no, that's a very top left thing to think. See, if you're right about everything,
ooh, tricky, man.
Yeah,
I see how that works. That's tricky, bro. So I gotta basically
you
say
might think you're
I'm
right
an
about
idiot.
everything, but I bet you couldn't do brain surgery. But if you think you know everything about brain surgery, but you don't, then you're top left.
Gotcha. I could do heart surgery. Well, I went to school for it.
Right.
But I dropped out.
We're coming up for 2.5 hours, so I think we're gonna.
No, don't leave, bro. We're having fun, man.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go for about another half an hour, but I do have.
We don't want to push
the next
them.
few days that I have to prepare for as well.
And we don't want your wife getting mad either. She'll probably give you a time limit probably of how long you should stream.
And if people want to know the reason why I am in court over the next few days, then the stream will be done on Ranty's channel, explaining everything once the court case is through, because my lawyer said not to do it beforehand.
Ooh. Did you get sued?
Yeah, I'm getting sued pretty badly. Nothing to do with this though.
Damn, man. Sorry to hear that.
You're up to no good, are you?
No, I'm kind of guilty for the thing that I'm being sued for. But
I'd say that on a live stream.
Just let that out on YouTube, man.
Well, I've already made the plea, so it's fine.
It's not a flat earther, is it? Did a flat earther sue you?
No.
Is it like the bike incident?
Yes.
Right.
So the court case for that, but I'll be talking a lot more about it after the court case.
Well, good luck, man.
Thanks.
Dude, I think that's a funny story, but it's not me.
It is funny. Did I tell you what happened afterwards? Did I tell you the new bit that happened with the bike?
No.
Careful, man. Are you allowed to talk about it?
Right, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, right. I'll save that for a private conversation because there's.
So Ranty gets the juicy like live stream, huh?
Yeah. Oh my god. I very much enjoy these streams because you guys can be quite
Dude,
fun.
I can tell you want to talk about it so bad right now.
Yeah, I do.
Don't do it.
No, I have to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, don't even mess around if your lawyer told you not to.
Yeah.
Who else has questions for Craig while he's here?
Yeah, I've got about half an hour, guys, and then I will have to shut it down for tonight.
Does he believe in God?
We need another Coriolis question.
Do I believe in God? What was that? Did I hear? I hold the position that there's no evidence for or against the existence of God.
God rockin', you're hot micing all over us, man.
All over my face, God rockin'. All over my face.
Did you get that equator thing in the chat?
No, I need to find the paper. I had to install a new hard drive because my last one died. So I've got a new one in.
Okay.
I don't know where all my stuff is at the moment.
I found data before that it actually gave you the date and the location.
Echo.
So I got it from that.
Studio mode.
Where's Bacon? I need Bacon to convert a map for me real quick. Let's convert that Mercator projection of time zones to AE real quick.
Have we done the pendulum already?
Yeah, we've been round the pendulum quite a few times.
Craig doesn't want to get back into that. I destroyed him on the Antarctic one.
No,
I
read it to you.
Nah, you tried to lie about
Brian
it, but we
Leakey's
got
profile picture. That's probably one I shouldn't have on YouTube, but you know.
That's it. Yeah, that's his wife.
You can't hold the pendulum too close to my man titties, or it fucks up the experiment.
Well,
Is that really Leakey's wife? Did my respect points just increase 30 points for Brian Leakey?
Decent record. Yeah.
He's a smooth talker. Increased.
Damn. Respect, dude.
No, I can't even. I just don't want YouTube to shout at me for having like naughty pictures, even though it's not really that naughty. I'm not making any bad comments about Brian Leakey's wife, by the way. I'm just saying that YouTube might not like that picture.
I think you just did, bro. Lawsuit number 2 coming at you.
I was positive that was a random chick on the internet that he found. I had no idea. If this is a joke, I'm going to be really upset with it.
Yeah.
I went through the same thing as his wife.
My wife has the best rack money can buy.
Spoken like a true Glober. Jesus.
But you got to admit there's a texture there that's just not the same, Ruhif.
No, texture is good. We got the right ones.
What about the horizon? Have you done the horizon?
I suppose if it goes from 45 or 55 down to 20, that could be the texture you're looking for. But essentially, the texture still is not.
Ruhif, come on.
What about the horizon? Have you done the horizon?
Oh dear.
How about we do theodolites?
This has gone not away. I want my streams.
Why is the horizon nice and sharp instead of fuzzy if the Earth is flat?
Someone needs to start calling Al Baruni a liar. Come on.
Yeah, me. I will.
Yeah, it's a good
absolutely
question.
will. I will absolutely. I've got like half a video done of Al Baruni a liar.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you lying about, bro? I love Al Baruni.
No, he.
I don't think I know who that is.
He's the guy that.
He's the guy who got the R, the original R, like climbing the mountain.
Not the original.
No, he's not the original.
Not the original R. Right? Everyone else is doing Meridian. No, he didn't.
Al Baruni was the first guy to calculate R.
No, incorrect. Yeah. Way wrong.
Aristotle.
Way wrong.
Dude, Eratosthenes, he got the circumference, which you then can derive R, but you don't know 100% that it's a globe at that point. Baruni's
no, if you just take basic 7.2 degree, and the distance between 2 points, you end up with 3959, which is essentially the radius.
For 1,000 years, they were doing meridian arc measurements similar to Eratosthenes, right? But
hold on, tell me how did Baruni lie?
I'll get to that, right? But for 1,000 years, they were doing meridian arc measurements similar to Eratosthenes, like working out how many miles per degree of declination to the sun or whatever, like how many degrees, how many miles per degree. That's what was happening for about 1,000 years. Yes, before.
Well, why is he always like the one who's acclaimed for having figured it out?
Probably because you listen to Oakley. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's always a
looked it up,
mistake.
man.
Don't listen to Oakley.
Yeah. Correct.
Well, I probably actually, to be
Oh,
fair,
he's a
I probably-
genius.
I probably did get it from there.
Oakley's a genius.
Yeah. It's wrong, right?
Flat for a lot of years. I did this
Huh.
to hide the fact I have a small penis.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah. So, yeah, that was the way to do it. That's the most accurate way of doing it. But Alberoni was smart, right? And he worked out that you could get a measurement from getting the angle to the horizon, right? And that's him just being a smartass, right? That's fine. But he didn't take into account refraction because he didn't know that refraction was a thing. But his measurements actually matched the meridian arc measurements when they shouldn't. And if you look at the actual measurements, they fit too nicely, and it's hard to explain that right now. I should do the video, but there's reason to believe he fudged his measurements to fit the radius given by meridian arc measurements.
Looking at
So
how
yes,
it
I'm
all
calling
went,
it.
yeah, looking at how it all went down, it does actually, the more I looked into it, look like, well, at least the situation around that whole thing is, he very likely could have gotten something that was slightly bigger than the radius of the Earth as we now know it. And that's what he did from there, was to take it down, take his measurements down. He fudged it, yeah, like you said.
Yeah. I think he fudged it, yes.
Hey, Ruhef,
How does looking at the horizon and then drawing an angle to the center of the Earth, how does that get you the R value?
Yeah, it's implied from
Like,
the
how did he
angle
know?
down. I did a stream last week with Troubling Tribune, a live stream where I took my theodolite out, took an angle to the horizon. I took my theodolite out, took an angle down to the horizon, and we worked out, using the globe, like using standard refraction and the globe radius, what my observer height was. And I think we were off by a foot or something like that.
Did Troubling Tribune... Did that guy talk when we were on the show? Troubling Tribune?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
he was in here. He was in here for like an hour earlier, and he won't talk to me. Or like in here on Discord. Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I took it out live, and we made a measurement and reverse engineered our observer height from the fact of the Earth being a globe. It was good fun.
Sounds gay, but I'm more interested in Troubling Tribune. was that like a debate show? Yes.
Hey,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if it is what it is, I just gotta figure it out.
question for you. If I use the Rayleigh criterion, which is based on, resolution, do you think I'd be able to determine the apparent circumference of the Earth with the aperture of the eye and the, let's say, an average nanometer? Let's say 500 nanometers with a 0.5 centimeter aperture of an eye. Do you think I could determine the whole circumference of the Earth?
How
Might
would
get
you do
one
that?
observer height to work, but all the other observer heights wouldn't.
Don't need an observer height. All I need
Yes, you do.
is an angle. No, all I need is an angle, a maximum theoretical angle of resolvability, and to back calculate that angle to the distance of the apparent junction. Ironically, I can determine the circumference of the Earth. It's quite interesting, huh? Would you like the formula, Ruf?
Right. If I get a camera with a bigger aperture, right, will that still work?
Wonderful that you mentioned that, because the information that I'm deducing is coming from the optics of the human eye. What happens when you
If I use
change
a
the
camera-
optics? What happens when you change the optics of the human eye? Does the apparent position change? It does,
You get
right?
Better? No, it doesn't. You get
Oh,
better
yes, it
resolution. You get better
You
resolution.
can get better resolution, but the apparent junction is based on the Rayleigh criterion. It's the separation of two objects. So the sky and ground is coming together. If I have an apparent location based on the wavelength of light and an angular relationship to it, the question is, can I determine the apparent circumference of the Earth with that information?
As
Yes, I
Doofus
can.
said-
Would you like
as
the
Doofus said-
formula?
As
You don't need
Doofus
the
said,
height.
it will work.
Don't need the height.
As Doofus said, it will work for one height and one height only. If I change height and apply it, it will not
It
work.
doesn't. It works on the assumed distance of the horizon for a 6-foot
whatever.
observer, right? Which
Yes,
is
again,
claimed
you
to be
just said it works for one height. It just works for one height.
Well, what are the odds that I can use the Rayleigh criterion, which is an angular relationship to light, and the resolvability of two objects being separated between the two, and I can determine the circumference? The point of that is to show you that the assumption of the circumference of the Earth based on an angular relationship of optics and not physical Earth curve is the point of the
Alright, show
mathematics.
us your
Do you
formula.
follow that? So take 1.22,
DM
1.1. Just I'm going to tell you, I've done this before. This is not new. 1.22 divided 1.22 multiplied by 500 divided by 0.05 centimeters. So take the 500 nanometers, convert it into meters, which is 0.0000005 divided by 0.005, and you'll end up with a radius value of 0.000122. I'm giving you the math. Whether you listen to it or not, it's not my problem.
DM me the math.
If I multiply the 0.000122 multiplied by the small angle approximation of 57.3, I end up with a theoretical maximum angle of 0.0069. If I take the tangent
by the small angle approximation of 57.3, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's how you calculate the Rayleigh criterion. You take the 57.3.
Those words made no sense. Later.
So it's called the small angle approximation, and it's the number is 57. Yeah, it's 57.3, right?
Yes. No, that's what a radian is. A radian is 57.3 degrees. That has nothing to do with the small angle approximation.
So if I take 1.22, multiply it by 0.0000005. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Run away. You always run away from me now.
You can either DM me a formula or not.
I mean,
I've repeated this. I've repeated this over and over again consistently
for you. If I get a bigger lens, then it's going to change the apparent position of things.
That makes the Earth bigger, right? If you get a bigger lens.
Yeah, hence the black swan, right? Hence the black swan, right? So if you have an apparent convergence to the optics...
No, I was just talking about the lens. Don't run away from the question. According to your...
And I'm running away.
Yeah, you are. So listen, according to the math that you have just given, and when I say math, I use that term loosely because you screwed that up a lot. It would... If I had a lens that was double the size, then the apparent position of something would be 4 times further away.
So again, if you're looking at the Rayleigh criterion, it's an apparent position between, let's say in this case, you're deciphering the top and bottom of a letter. In this case, how far can you see the top and bottom of a letter is no difference in the top and bottom of the sky and the ground. You can apply the same principle using the Rayleigh criterion formula. If you change the camera optics, which is now we're not discussing eye optics. We're taking a camera, which now you can open up the aperture, you can refract more, you can narrow in the angle of light, which goes from, let's say, 50 millimeter down to the 200 millimeter. You're going to open up that resolvable position. Let's say the letter, the top and bottom of the letter is now. I'm explaining. So the top and bottom of that letter becomes resolvable now. It's no longer converged into a point. That's when you change optics, you can see farther, hence why the black swan exists. Because it's showing you the apparent convergence is an optical position, hence why I can give you a formula that you can determine the apparent circumference of the eye with the Rayleigh criterion formula. I've repeated this for years. The math is sound, and it's based on an apparent position.
According to your formula, if I double the size of the lens...
Not my formula.
The one that you have just given, that you put together.
That's based on optics of the human eye, not a camera. Which you emphasized my point.
Yeah, and the way that you're applying that to the position of things is it.
Don't get excited, princess.
Is making the implication that if you double the size of the lens, it's going to change the apparent position of things. That's not what happens in reality.
So again,
you are making the application of the equation wrong.
If the top of the letter and the bottom of the letter are converged into a point, if I change a focal length, I can resolve the top and bottom of that letter.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. Maybe
the point is
obviously you've got some kind of hearing comprehension issue, and you just do the Flerfs reset thing and ignore what you're being told. It's fine.
No, again, you are projecting. You're not listening.
I don't think
if
you know
there
what
is a
projection
convergence.
means either. You're capable of saying words, but I don't think you're able to put them
Why do you keep interrupting me? What are you afraid of there, princess? What are you afraid of?
I've already told you if you can't answer my question.
You have an
apparent
apparent convergence. If you have apparent convergence and you change the optics, the apparent convergence, in other words, if the ground is the bottom of the letter E and the sky is the top of the letter E, there's going to be a point where that letter converges into a point. Now, if I change optics, I can open up that resolvable point, and now I can see the bottom of the E and the top of the E. The point is that it's an optical effect. It's not a physical reality, right? It's just due to the angle of light.
Yes, so you ignored my question again.
So
I love how you just run away from my question, princess.
There's no running away.
Yeah, you're running. You're running like Homer goes after.
You still haven't got my point.
You still haven't got my point. That has debunked you.
There's no debunking.
Because
you're
princess,
actually backing my argument.
Is run away from me.
You're backing my argument.
Debunked you, princess.
you have a convergence point due to an optical angle of the human eye, and you change that focal length, you can now resolve that convergence point, which is just an optical effect due to the distance of the observer.
Human eye. Go on then.
No, your camera. If you change the focal length of your camera, you can now see that E is no longer converged. That's the formula that I'm giving you is based off the human eye. You want to detract from that formula and bring in a camera optics, which emphasizes
focal length.
Which emphasizes my point of convergence, which is an optical illusion. And the point of the exercise is you're determining the physical. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Is that right? Is that right?
I'm saying that I can deduce the apparent circumference of the Earth, which is not based on actual curve, but based on an angular limitation. Based on an angular limitation due to optics, and hence why I gave you a formula.
Because I can completely change.
Would you like the formula, princess?
Let me respond.
Would you like the formula, princess?
No, princess, come on, calm down, princess. I know you want me to be your princess, but unfortunately, you're the one that looks like Snow White.
Put a crown
so
on. If you want to be my princess, you better wear a crown.
Right? When you are using that formula, you are saying that the Earth looks that big because of the optics of the eyes, but the Earth looks that big if I use a camera. Or if I use my camera phone, or if I use anything, the Earth looks the same size. What you are looking at it with doesn't change the apparent size of it unless you're actually altering like the focal length and stuff. But I can use many different lenses of many different types, and the Earth is still going to look the same size, debunking your entire point.
That's not true.
Dude, yeah, that's not true at all. Again, like I stated, the whole point of the exercise. Let me finish, princess. The whole point is when you
do you want me to be your princess? Are you hitting on me? Do you fancy me?
You're not wearing a crown yet.
Do you fancy me?
Where's your crown?
Do you want me to be the bottom? Is that what it is? Do you like being the top and you want given the power? Is that what it is? Is that why you keep calling me princess?
You need a crown, buddy.
Is that what it is? Is that why you keep calling me princess? Because you picture me wearing some kind of like tassel and stuff, and you want me to be
you act like a princess.
You fancy me that much. You're hitting on me so much. I love the fact that you keep calling me princess, showing that you are obsessed with me. So please carry on.
Really?
Yes.
Craig, stop being so sensitive, bro.
Craig, you're acting like a princess, so don't take it too personal, all right?
Come on, bro, you want me to be your princess.
He's going to keep doing it.
He wants me to be his princess. Look at him. He's so adorable. He fancies me. It's amazing.
Showtime,
showtime. A camera doesn't change it, or it does change it?
I'm saying that I can...
The apparent resolvability can be changed based on focal length. The point of the exercise is I'm claiming that you are determining the circumference of the Earth or the radius of the Earth due to optics, and I'm giving you a practical example using the. Let me finish, bud.
So I can use different optics and get the same radius. So
we can also show you that with changing focal length, we can get a different distance to the horizon, proving my point that the physical position that you're calling
into account the focal
holy
changes,
cow! Are you afraid? Are you afraid to let me get it all out?
I'm just debunking you.
That's why I call you a princess.
It's so easy to debunk you, and every time you call me princess, I know you fancy me.
Yeah, you're not wearing
I
a crown
understand.
yet,
I am fucking gorgeous, and you want me. I get it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So again, you're determining the sphericity.
What is it? Is it my face? Is that what you like?
Optics.
Is it my lips? Is it my pretty lips? Is that what you fancy? My flashy little eyelashes. Is that
I'm waiting for your crown, buddy. Your little princess crown. You got to put some lipstick on.
Nose that you like.
You're missing some
hairline.
lipstick.
Does that turn you on? Is that what it is?
You're missing some lipstick and some
Is
earrings.
it like my? Is it my spot on my forehead? Does that get you going? Can you just imagine rubbing it? Is that what it is?
You're a little too homely for me.
Is that what it is?
I guarantee if you put
on, fancy me that much that you just get obsessed with my face.
If you put on
I bet if you went to your house and
did you ever see the meme where someone actually made you look like a princess?
If you open up your closet, what you would find is a picture of me with like candles and stuff and kisses, bits of worn out where you spent so much time holding it and being close to it.
You really
I
hope that, don't you?
But the thing is, I've been married for nearly 16 years.
Is that what you want?
So I'm really not interested. I appreciate
wearing crowns and lipstick.
I really do appreciate, the compliment that you find me so attractive that you have to keep calling me princess. I really do appreciate that. But I've been married for nearly 16 years to someone that's way better looking than you.
Wow.
So I really do appreciate it. But, thank you very much.
So again, my point is you're determining the sphericity of the Earth based on optics, and I give you a practical.
I'm not determining it based on optics.
give you a practical calculation based on the Rayleigh criterion, which has nothing to do with the sphericity of Earth.
Yeah, and
You
your
want to
calculation
ignore
is
the
applied wrong.
You want to ignore the
Your calculation's applied
calculation, which
wrong.
is. You want to ignore the
calculation's
calculation,
applied
which.
wrong.
You want to ignore
Your calculation's
the
applied
calculation,
wrong.
We get
which
some
is.
moderation.
Your calculation's applied wrong.
Enough of all that. Someone's got to disengage because no one wants to hear this shit.
Can we do like
Yeah,
one
well, there you
person
go.
at a time, please? One person at a time.
So the formulation that I got is from Britannica.
Yeah, and you applied it wrong.
Formula-
so it's cool.
The formulation I got is from
That you applied
Britannica.
wrong.
Anybody listening to
Yeah,
me,
the
it's
formula that you applied wrong.
1.22 multiplied the lambda over the diameter. The
Yeah, you can read.
lambda
We get
is
it. You can
500.
read. It's brilliant.
The lambda is
No.
The lambda is 500 nanometers. The size of the eye is 5.5 cent.
Brilliant. And you're applying it all wrong. It's wonderful.
5 centimeters.
You
Pardon
can do
me.
that. It's great.
So if you take that calculation and break it down to meters, you'll end up with a radiance
So,
value of
applying it all wrong. Brilliant. Well done.
0.000122. If I
Fantastic.
multiply it by the small angle approximation, which is 57.3, which comes from encyclopedia.
Yeah, he was boring. He just kept saying the same thing over and over.
You
But
did it
guys,
again.
it's been
You multiplied
fantastic.
by the small angle
But
approximation.
I've exhausted my time for tonight. I do need to go to bed and get ready for what I need to do for the next few days. So thank you very much, Shane. It's always a pleasure. I'm glad my internet held out tonight. It was a lot more fun than disappearing after 45 minutes last time.
Although Olaf was really cool. You can bring him again if you want. You can tell him to come back, actually.
Absolutely. He did say he wanted to come back and ask a few more questions.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Craig.
All right. Yeah, thank you everyone for welcoming me. And Jim, even though
Thanks,
you
Olaf.
know we argue quite a lot, I appreciate your compliments, your thoughts towards me for my health and stuff. That you know. That does mean a lot. We have differing opinions. That is very clear, but I do take that sincerely. So thank you for your thoughts.
Craig,
Thanks, man.
you take the best care of yourself. We appreciate you.
I am doing.
And
Yeah.
even though we don't agree,
My wife told me I'm not allowed to die.
yeah. Well, some part of me appreciates you, and I just want you to know that.
Thank you. But I genuinely do appreciate how decent you guys are here, even though we can get quite heated and stuff. So thank you very much for having me on, and I'll be
Take
back
care.
next week. See you soon.
It's good to remember we're all humans.
You too.
It's all good, man.
Hello.
Take it easy, man.
Bye.
Yeah.
Well, that was a fun one. Oh my goodness me. The amount of derp is fantastic. There's yes, Coffee Troll, you're right. The amount of derp is quite impressive over there. But the interesting thing about when I go to debate in that server is that not all the flat earthers there are on the same page, right? They've got arguments between them. Is there a dome? Is there not a dome? What's the pressure gradient? Is gravity real? You know, so I'm never just arguing against one particular flat earth point of view. It's always, you know, a nice mixture of derp, which I guess can be fun, if not frustrating. So many of you watching, as always. You know, it means the absolute fucking world to me. So I'm going to read super chats, and then I'll play the rap for you guys, because I know you're wanting that at the intro instead of the music that I played. Are you kidding me? 199 says Jim caused this to happen. Thank you, Jim. Demoser for $19.99 says, "Oops, sorry, Jim." Thank you very much, Jim. Stringer News 1 for $2 says, "The idiot is wrong." That could account to any flat earther. Mikhail for $5 says, "Thanks, Jim." Yeah, thank you, Jim. And then NA for $6.66 says, "I wouldn't send FTFE a super chat." Who would send that stupid big nose specky twat a super chat, eh? God, anyone who sends FTFE super chat needs his head check in. Don't send FTFE super chats. Please keep sending me super chats. You know how much super chats and stuff mean to me, guys. The support constantly blows my mind. Come here. Come here, Esme. This is Esmeralda. Where are you going? Esmeralda, or Esme, is an old lady. She'll be 18 this year. That's like 1 billion in cat years or something. You gonna read super chats, Esme? Hey? Had her since she was a little baby kitten, just at 6 weeks. Sleeps on me every single night because I'm just her hot water bowl. Right, let go of your claws, missus. Come on. And she's just taken my headset out. String News 1 says hashtag supercats. Blisskrieg for $10 says thanks to Jim. Thank you, Jim. Extra J for $10 says courtesy of Jim. Thank you, Jim. Christopher Johnson for $5 says because of Jim. Eat it. Thank you, Jim. Rachbot for $10 Australian. Lol. Hello, Jim. FTFE rocks. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Rachbot. JSS Tiger for $5 says you won't be making money off me. You won't be making money off of this guy, Craig. No, I'm definitely not making any money off of Jim. Rosa 43 for $2 says thanks, Jim. NA for $66.60. You fucking crazy psycho says cause of Jim. Thank you very. Oh my god. Oh, dude, thank you. Justin Crow $4.99 says this super chat is just because of Jim. Keep making Craig money, Flerfs. They hate that I've monetized stupidity. Echo, go to studio mode. My button's broken, so I keep having to tell her. String News 1 for $2 says FTFE's karma ran over your dogma, Flerf. My karma's fine, don't worry. Tim Tully for 18 months says we have the circumstances, the circumference of the globe. Why do we have to drill to find the radius? Yeah. They don't understand that there's more than one way to figure out the circumference and the radius of the globe, and that looking up at the sky is actually a brilliant way of figuring out the shape of our world. Not a duck for 222 Japanese yen says hashtag thanks, Jim. Thank you very much, Not a duck. Why kick a moo cow hashtag 855 for $2 Australian says is this enough to buy a cup of Flerf tears? I drink all the Flerf tears. That is my only sustenance. That's what this is. I don't know why Flerf tears are purple, but they are. Stringer News 1 for $2 says get me. I'm giving out karma. No, that's money, not karma. But thank you anyway. Hannibal True Silence for $10 says this guy is unbelievable. Less than 1% of the population believe their nonsense. Rabbit holes deep and dark. Less than 1% of 1%, really, Jaden Her for $20. Thank you very much, my friend. I can't believe people still believe Flat Earth. The only real conspiracy is Transworld Airlines Flight 800 from 1996. The information supports a cover-up. But if I'm wrong, I will say so, unlike certain Flat Earthers. Yeah, I mean, you know what? There is conspiracies in the world. That's a fact. There's many of them. We are lied to by governments. It happens. Doesn't mean the Earth's flat. Eon Dust member for 18 months. That's once and a half around the sun. They're so salty about the super chats. Yeah, Jim's never going to make me any money except for all the money that Jim makes me. Thanks, Jim. Hannibal True Science for $10 says, I personally did a world cruise on a carrier, USS Nimitz CVN-68 cross Atlantic and the Indian, then Pacific Ocean. Yeah, I mean, I was on a few different ships and submarines. I was there was one continent I didn't go to throughout my time, I think. I've checked to see if the Earth is a globe. I've verified the measurements. They're right. Najee Thompson, member for 1 month, thank you very much, says, cheers for the sacrifices you make, FTFE, because I sure as fuck wouldn't risk the brain damage. Yeah, I watch Flerf videos, so you don't have to. String News 1 for $2 says, we don't believe in a globe, we just live on one. It is what it is. Demoser for $1.99 says, hi Jim Bob. Thanks, Jim. Darren DeBaron for $4.99 says, this is just about 50 dimes. He's not going to make me a dime, but there's 50 of them. Blitzkrieg for $5 says, thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. And another $5 says, the saddest part is that GLAT thinking the Flat Earth community is growing and will become mainstream. Yeah, I've heard that for like 4 and a bit years. In 2 years, everyone will know it's flat, and you'll be the minority. No. Everyone's laughing at you. Flat Earth is the internet's pet rock. Why don't they understand this? Stringer News 1 for $2. The word is therapist, dumbass. The rapist. Conor Silverfair for $2 says, this just in, Flerfs says Flerfs aren't human. I mean, I'm not going to disagree. I should have just said, okay, I understand, you're not the same species as me. Justin Crow for $4.99 says, I love that the newest Flerf argument is, why are you doing this to us? Yeah. Why are you a big meaty poo, Craig? Oh no! Lord Luminous Poo for $5 says, what in the Ollie Josh lowercase t does the what to do with anything? People have discovered more since then. And another $5 says, I suggest a class action suit against this Discord for replacement screens and the Faceplam repair surgery. Yeah, because I can't afford the lawsuits, guys, anymore. Come on. Stringers 1 for $2 says, RIP Scottish Hamster Net. Yeah, there was a brief cut for about a minute, I think. I do apologise for that. And then we got Box for $5 Australian says, you've joined the Beavis and Butthead server, didn't you? This is a painful menagerie of stupid. Beavis and Butthead didn't think the Earth was flat, meaning that Beavis and Butthead are smarter than flat earthers. In fact, I'm pretty sure Beavis and Butthead went to space at one point. They definitely did. Adrenochrome Slurper, €2. Thank you very much. Ooey to you too. Steve6464 for $10 says, from what I can tell, the magnetic north is still in Canada, the far northwest of the Northwest Territory, or maybe the border of Northwest Territory and the Yukon Territory. It is moving as well, which is interesting. It's always fun to know that there is two North Poles, and the flat earthers cry about that. Eon Dust for $5 Australian. The sun travels... Oh my god, there's so many super chats. Thank you guys. The sun travels in bands over the earth. Do you know what else happened there? Nazis! Therefore the sun causes Nazis? You're welcome. Well, I guess you could say that water and oxygen both cause Nazis, right? Because every single Nazi drank water and breathed in oxygen. So water and oxygen cause Nazis? But they also cause death, because everyone that's... Shut up, Craig. Gary Little, why does the manual for planning US Army radio systems use the curvature of Earth for separating VFS transmitters? Answer for that, Gary, is that the Earth's a globe. Lord Luna's Poo for $2 says, I asked for ranch, this word salad has stupid on it. At least you got yours. PhD Tony, the only real person in the world, for $5 Australian says, reciprocal zenith angles always add up to more than 180 degrees. Demonstrating the flat earth is physically impossible. I know, I've told them that and they just called me a liar. Because if there is evidence that the earth's a globe, then you're lying about it. Pete Must Prime for $2 says, I usually enjoy a good word salad. A good salad. Yeah, but not a word salad. Lord Lunas Poo for $2 says, note to self, don't super chat FTFE. Yeah, don't super chat FTFE. How dare you? Thank you. Peter's Prime, $2 Australian. This one's for Esme. Esme, they like you. Who doesn't like cats? Toads in My Eyes for $2 says, kitten. And LBS for $5 Canadian says, you looked younger yesterday, Craig. I know. That stream that Global Mum edited we put up yesterday, that's like nearly 4 years old. I still had hope in my eyes. Fog Repair Ship Akashi, member for 21 months, almost twice around the sun. The newest FTFE channel joke. Thanks, Jim. Who wants a Thanks, Jim t-shirt? Yeah? Or a baseball cap? Toads in My Eyes for $2 says, it'll be fun to watch back this stream. Yeah, I enjoy watching back the stream so I can read the chat. String News 1 for $10. Thank you very much. He's dead, Jim. No, wait. Wrong, Jim. Lord Luminous Poo for $2 says, the number one leading cause of death is birth. That is true. Don't be born and you won't die. It's very, very simple. Well, there we are, guys. I've had an amazing night, as I always do. I have another debate on Wednesday, just before my court case on Thursday. That's brilliant, Craig. Well done. And I'm still working on episodes of Flerfs Idiots. Obviously, the actual video production took a bit of a backseat with my health. Along with that, my dad is very ill. He was in hospital and they discovered that he's got some kind of blood cancer. So that's been weighing on my mind quite heavy, and you know, life in general can be difficult when you're in chronic pain, like I am, and then other things happen. We're still waiting on some results from my dad, but it looks like he'll be starting chemo relatively soon. But yeah, the actual videos are coming. I've got like 5 in production. I've got a remake of episode 1. I've got a Dell episode. I've got a Witsit episode. I've got an episode written completely by Chat AI. And there's a episode 75 special that are all in production. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I know. He'll be okay. He's my dad's far too stubborn to die. Put it that way. So he'll be fine. So thank you for your continued support. You know, it means the world. And even though I've not actually put out any new scripted videos for like 6 weeks because of everything that's been going on, the views on my channel have actually been pretty good. So that's amazing. Like the support you guys constantly give is more than I could ever ask for. So as a little treat or a punishment, whichever way you want to see it, I guess, I'm going to play you Airplanes, a Flat Earth rap. Oh, before I do that, Toads in My Eyes for another $50. It says, gross. Yeah. Thank you. You know, the fact that you guys feel my pain it helps me deal with it. So thank you. And Toads in My Eyes, you didn't need to do that, but thank you very much. But here we go. Airplanes, a Flat Earth rap. Enjoy.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
Good morning. These words come with a storm warning. Better batten down the hatches, grab some matches and brace yourself for a long day of misery. YouTube has given me the power to reach up into the sky and show you all that we live on the ball. I bring you science that's comprehensible. Your view is indefensible. You're reprehensible. No, Mr. Sensible. When I was young, I never thought I would be here to see this. A pile of random nonsense dressed up as bullshit. Your ignorance will be the death of us all, like running head first, full speed into a wall. You could always read a book, buy a telescope, set it up and take a photo of the moon, or just be a buffoon. I send you in a balloon up to the stratosphere in page 3.
You're a few fries short of a happy meal. You're dumber than a box of hair. The wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead, and you're as smart as bait. You forgot to pay your brain bill. You're missing a few buttons on the remote control. 24 cents short of a quarter. You're surfing in Nebraska.
Two surprise Mars
bars. You're as
bars.
bright as Alaska in December, and you
ball.
fell out of your family tree. You don't have all the cornflakes in one box. You got an IQ of 2 and it takes 3 to grunt. The elevator doesn't go all the way up, and there's a vacancy on the top floor. Your antenna doesn't pick up all the channels. You're several nuts short of a
You're
fruit
Mr.
cake.
Sensible, calm down, don't go too hard. You don't need the hustler burying Flerfs in your backyard. You're a man of science, poise and grace. Mage, you did everything to wipe the grins off the face. So Nathan, get away from those kids. The world is not flat and it doesn't have a lip. Recognize the differences between the textbook and the Bible and control yourself. Lay off your slander and your lies. You're a bunch of knobs poisoning the world of the youth. Spreading lies that you like to claim as knowledge and truth. Stop spreading fresh bullshit like the butter on your bread. Maybe a musical assault will knock some sense into your head. I hope one day you'll hear these lyrics and smile, and you realise you used to be a 40-year-old child. Now it's time to wake up, open your eyes and see and acknowledge the existence of.
You're a few clowns short of a circus. Your phone is off the hook. Your sewing machine is out of thread. You're all foam and no beer. You don't have all your dogs on one leash. An intellect rivaled only by garden tools. There's no grain in your silo, and your skylight leaks a little. Your belt doesn't go through all the loops. You couldn't pour water out of a boot without instructions on the heel. Your slinky's kinked, and you're proof that evolution can work in reverse. A few feathers short of a whole duck, one fruit
Can we
short of
pretend
a
that
full bowl.
airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
You thought it was over? Well, I'm still standing while you're swinging, flinging feces, talking shit just like the human centipede. You've got the mind of a chimp, and I'm here to expedite your shore leave. Cause I'm a seaman, but not the kind I writ up on your mom's gums. I'm the kind that sailed submarines and fired guns. I could float a boat across the ocean with my eyes closed, circumnavigate the globe with a compass and a bag of sausage rolls. Well, all you can do is nibble on your toes. I'll smack you with the hose that you call a water level, sit and swivel. You nasal gazing muppet, you can stuff it harder than the wallet stuffed by Warren Buffett. And I don't care about your sauces unless you're serving them. And I don't care about your lines unless you're curving them. Now step away from me, you're sucking up my oxygen with the vacuum where your brain should be, you dumb fuck. Remember, stupidity's not a right. Fight the flat earth. Oh, and thanks, Jim. Fight the flat,